8 weeks with me, you're going to be ready for a commission in the Waffen SS.
Hold us hostage.
All the way Virginia, bitch.
Yeah, didn't help.
And you guessed it, a Jew.
This is the type of shit we do, roll up on at the goddamn barbershop.
Who the fuck okayed that?
Wow. 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 Wow.
Is very obviously gay. I look at him and I'm like, well, you're gay.
You can't handle Big Diesel anyway. My meat would have you in the hospital.
Okay, faggot, what's next?
Oh, fart nigger.
What is the major problem, do you think?
Too much hormones.
Nobody's saying you can't own a gun. Nobody's even saying you can't carry a gun. All we're saying is you can't carry a gun in town.
Well, I can't understand none of it. This one begat that one, and that one begat this one, and begat, and lo and behold, someone says some shit to someone or another. Just how retarded are you?
Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme. We're too wild. We're too out of control. We're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Yo, boys and girls, good evening. What's going on? I went to the gym today. I just put this shirt back on after my shower. That's all it is. I just put this one on after my shower. Those are my Meme Copium interview notes. Don't need those anymore. Thanks to Meme for coming by this morning. Thanks to everybody for an incredibly simplistic start to the week. Steel toe dub, everywhere you look, a steel toe dub. Alex Jones giving us the big retweet. Alice Jones. That's his sister's show. She's good too. Alex Jones giving us the big hat tip, playing our clip on his show. We appreciate that. And now if I can just bother him enough to get him on the program, that's the trifecta. A lot of great results from our what do you call it? Meme Copium interview, the Chrissie stuff. A lot of people enjoying that. You know, it's getting a little dangerous. All these years that people have spent trying to get everyone to hate the toe, it's the tides have fully turned. They have fully turned. So many comments I'm having to go through today of, you know, I'm starting to unironically like toe. You know what? I think I might have been wrong about toe. You know, Toe's really on this one. And I seeing it this morning in the YouTube chat, too. It's almost like if you guys don't listen to a poorly, maladjusted, unhealthy retard, you might figure out what's actually going on. So I welcome you. Thank you. However, as good as today was, I do know that tonight is, after an hour and a half, tonight is really going to eat a fat dick because Kino Casino, correct me if I'm wrong, they go live at 7:30 Central Time. It's 6 o'clock now. So 7:30 Central Time, an hour and a half from now, they will go live, and they're going to garner a huge audience today. Huge audience tonight. And good for them. They follow this shit. They put in the time. You know, people think like, oh, you know, shows like Kino Casino, they just grift off of these dramas or whatever. You got to remember, this is all these guys do. So like when there's lean times, when there's thin times where there's not really anything going on, these guys have to trudge through those shows and they got to come up with something and do all of that. And they do. And then that kind of that builds up to moments like the last month or two for these guys where Jeremy from the Quartering seems to step on his little dick every single day. We got some clips of him. I also think that I've been really hard on Chrissie Mayr, and I don't regret a second of it. I think she's being exposed. I don't think this is all, like in the cosmic sense, I don't think this is all just what she did in the last week or two. I think this is a lifetime of being dishonest, of being phony, of playing something for the cameras and then being something different and not acknowledging that. I think this is, for a lot of people, they feel vindicated in kind of looking at her with a side eye and going, she's a schemer. Like, she's a manipulator. And, you know, I was at the gym today and I was watching other people's clips. You know who I'm really liking, who I'd never watched before, but he's kind of a G. He's really good with this stuff, is this D-Day Cobra. I don't know what he does. I gather he's like an action figure guy or something like that, because it's very like G.I. Joe themed. Forgive my ignorance, but I watched a lot of his stuff, and I thought he did a really good job breaking a lot of that Chrissie Mayr stuff down. And so I watched a few more of the clips. You know, I watched the whole thing last night, and then I watched some more clips via this guy's show, and it's just like how people can't see through how disingenuous she was being and how passive-aggressive towards Britney she was being, and how she does that all the time. One of the things that always annoyed me about Chrissie was this, I want to have controversial people on, but I don't want to find myself in controversy. I want to have contentious personalities on, but I don't want to be seen myself as contentious or taking a side. Then when she does take a side, it's always, well, let me see not who's right or who's wrong. Let me see who has more followers and who I can kind of glean some, you know, who I can get some rub off of, and I'll go with them. Excuse me. Like, Keanu's a bigger person than I am. Because after that bullshit that Chrissie pulled with Keanu, I would have never spoken to her again. So Keanu's very forgiving, where Melanie Mack does this cringe thing where she's like, those of us who still say faggot, we're being funny. We're almost mocking the fact that we're saying a word that is like a no-no. Like, the joke is on you when you say the word. She still thinks it's like edgy to say it. And Keanu called that out, and she's like, she's a piece of shit and a grifter and all of that, and she's right, and we'll prove that in a second. But then Chrissie suspended Keanu from Simpcast because Melanie had a problem with Keanu. She didn't want Keanu wrecking Chrissie's grift to get in with Melanie Mack and Quartering. So this isn't the first time Chrissie's done Janny duty for the Quartering. And then there's also the part where I finally decided, you know what? I've had my suspicions about Chrissie, but fuck her. When she swept for Rekieta and she let him go on there and say, oh, Aaron could have planted those drugs, or my kid could have tested positive because of Aaron. And there was no pushback. There was like, oh, Nick, that's bullshit. She just goes, yeah, that's a really interesting theory. You're allowed to run your show however you want, but you let that be thrown down there and you co-sign that, you can go fuck yourself as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to enjoy watching what's happening to you when you let that kind of bullshit go. And she does that all the time. If you have enough followers, she will let you come onto her show, use her as basically an attempted reputation laundering service, as long as she can get the super chats. But don't worry, if you send super chats that are too critical of her, she won't read those super chats. Forget that. Those super chats won't get read. Whatever narrative she needs to establish, those will get read. Yeah, the passive-aggressive way she treated Venti, and I don't need to simp for Venti. That bitch will rip your head off, man. But the way she was like, oh, I'm not going to read any more negative ones about Venti. I don't want to feel like we're piling on Venti, which is a way to, like, encourage more of them so that she can feel like this isn't going poorly for her, which it was. Frank was in there modding people, muting people, getting rid of them about halfway through because Brittany was kicking the shit out of everybody. So I'm enjoying this because this isn't a new thing. This isn't a mistake. You know, SP always says sorry is for accidents. This isn't a mistake that Chrissie made. This was Chrissie being Chrissie so outwardly at a time where so many people were staring at her that she finally got caught being what a lot of the more astute people already knew she was. And look, while I've been on this for 2-3 years, I will say this. Mersh from Revenge of the Sis has been on it longer than that. He called it longer than that, and I think Red Bar before him was the first one to call it out. And ironically, one of these rare Red Bar dubs this week. So, yeah, I wanted to have Keanu on tonight because I wanted someone who was on Chrissie's side to be on the show. Here's the problem. They are tied to the whole case that I have a few months. Well, I could have 1 month of probation or I could have 4 months. We're not sure. It's one of the two, depending on how everything wraps up. But like, I only have a little bit of probation left. I'm not going to risk, because there are people out there who they're being Jeremy from the Quartering, but with my probation case. If I even have Keanu on, my PO is going, her inbox is going to be flooded. People are going to call, they're going to be calling her all day. I mean, these are, and they're all Nobody Likes Onions fans, and NLO directs them to do it. It's no better than what the Quartering does. In fact, it's really worse, but, you know, more people to sweep for him, I guess. So I would have had Keanu on to defend Chrissie, and I would have given her a fair shake. I'm not willing to roll the dice like that. But what we will do is play Chrissie and Keanu and Geno's clip from today where they talk about it. That just to kind of, because I don't feel like Chrissie's being given a lot of defense. And I think they did run a little defense for her. Oz for Mayor starting us off tonight with $1. Says Chrissie Mayr is almost unilaterally responsible for the legal drama of your past with her inviting Ricada to the show. Well, yeah, especially since he wasn't a comic and he's not talented. And he fucking sucked and he dragged the whole show down. I mean, there was that. But like, I don't know. I make my own decisions in this life. I think I'm responsible for my legal entanglements. I would say I'm responsible for that. I wouldn't blame that on Chrissie. Not in the least. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. I love the oranges in the chat. Please keep those going. Please keep those oranges going. Das Optic Nerve says, Chrissie went after the chat. That's the kiss of death. Yeah. Yeah, she tried. She really, really tried. Nick Jasso says, is it true that Sydney Watson is going to be on Camelot's channel tonight talking about Jer? I don't know. Is she? Because Sydney Watson she's got a lot of stories to tell about Jeremy. I do think it was kind of cute that Cody Camelot was like, oh, this Quartering thing, man, it's like the biggest thing in a decade. It's like, I understand you got to stick up for your friends, and that sometimes means covering up for your friends. Camelot's buddy fucked up harder and more evil than Jeremy fucked up. I mean, it's not even close, the amount of evil that your buddy committed. I mean, we're talking about children and drugs versus Jeremy. But I do understand what he's saying, and this has been very good for him, and he's been working hard on it, which is good. Johnny Arcade says Quartering just got called out on Candace Owens' podcast to 60,000 live viewers. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's no good. So that's going to get worse. He went live today, and amazingly, I will say this, he ignored the whole thing. It was terrible. I watched a little bit of it. You know, whenever I had something going on in the back of my mind when I was on radio, you could always tell in the show because like the performance was so uninspired. It would be. I remember there would be days where I had shit on my mind, And if I didn't talk about it on the show, it was just rip and read. I would grab a story, read it, and go, huh, that's crazy. Like that you couldn't keep a train of thought to do a stream of consciousness show because you're distracted. Jeremy was distracted big time today. Big time. So let's get into what we have tonight. Thank you very much to Professor Tie-Dye for $1. Says Chrissie is what is called a swamp donkey. You can look that up on Urban Dictionary, but it's a more accurate equine description of Chrissie. We also had $1 from Das Optic Nerve. Says Knicks sweep. Have they done it officially? I've been following my guys' series. I know that the Lakers are getting killed. Rexdart Parody account says, no, that was actually normal. His performance is always uninspired. Oh, I've never watched him before. Sorry. Ryobi says, holy shit, guys, Brittany Venti is on, then Kino Casino at 7:30. Sorry, Toe. Well, that's why today's episode is titled, what did I call it officially? Nobody will watch this show. If we hit the goal tonight, I will be absolutely shocked. What are we, 98 memberships away from 600? Yeah, that's not an option. I'll be stunned if we knock it out today. But I thank your generosity anyway. Venti's on. Kino Casino's on at 7:30. I think Pod Awful decided to go live tonight. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. Papa Shop says, it's funny to me that people would rather have a grown man read them the news than have something funny and interesting to engage with. Yeah, rip and read is not the way to go. You always hear me on the show whenever a video doesn't work or something. I'm like, God damn, no, I don't want to do rip and read. It is the absolute worst. By the way, Papa Shop did give us a compliment in the chat tonight. He said, congratulations on Alex Jones playing your stuff. I just went and watched it, and then said, that's the only nice thing I'm going to say to you. But I'll take that. I'll take that. I mean, if Papa Shab says half a nice thing to me, that's worth like 3 million nice things from, say, Rusty Grammar. You know, just the exchange rate. Ryobi says, not gonna meet the goal tonight. Let me just say this. We had a very good morning. And this audience is very generous. So I'm not expecting it tonight, but I'm hoping for it. That's for sure. Let's get into the nonsense and the horseshit and the bullshit and the silliness. Darth Nugs, stop calling me out for not wearing a shirt under my shirt after my shower. You're making me feel exposed. Like, dude, I see the Sydney Sweeney like clips on Twitter from that show Euphoria, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm getting old. I don't know if it's having 2 daughters or what. You guys can have boners. That's fine. I'm giving you permission to have erections. Congratulations. I just look at it and I go, and maybe this is just listening to Papa Shab and Sam show in the chat too much, but I just see it and I go, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Your alcohol, your narcotics, you're dulling our edges, you're dulling our senses, so we ignore the really offensive stuff that rubs up against us. That's what you're here for. Your Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria is the whore of Babylon. And it's like, there were days where I could see that clip and I'd be like, oh, she's so fucking hot. Oh my God, look at her fucking tits. But now I see it and I'm like, would you put on some fucking clothes and dress modestly? That's way more attractive. And just like, would you? Because I know what you're doing. You know, it's like everybody who's into Sydney Sweeney on that show feels like the guys who think the strippers are their friend. I knew a guy for a very short amount of time who used to friend strippers that he would go to the strip club and meet. He would add them on Instagram, and he really thought they were going to like come hang out with him when he was out and about. And when he would message them to come hang out, they would quote him a price. And he'd be like, oh, I didn't think I'd have to pay it. He really thought that these women just thought he was really cool. It's like, he would go like, they want to charge to hang out. It's like, yeah, they want to fucking charge. They're a stripper/prostitute. What did you think? They just dug you? Guess what? If that credit card got declined, they wouldn't know who you are. They'd be throwing you out the front door. But that's how I feel like when people watch Euphoria clips and shit like that. It's like, oh, she's so fucking hot. It's like, you know she's there to just distract you from the fact that you're paying out the ass for gasoline and why we're paying out the ass for gasoline. Like that, I'm sorry. Enough being a bummer. I apologize. Ryobi with $2, period. Thank you very much, buddy. $1 from T-Baby says, hold up, the toe made Alex Jones? Yeah, dude, there's nobody who goes viral more than me and gets less out of it. I've now gone viral 3 times this year. That's more than anybody else who hates me, is disgusted by me, ever will. 3 times. Minneapolis protests, the Dave Ramsey stuff on Instagram, and now Alex Jones. And I'll get a few memberships out of it. That's about it. That's about it. Rexstart parody account with $1 says another stream raised this. If the quartering Review Tech boxing match had happened and RTU landed a body blow that triggered Jeremy's IBS and he shit himself in the ring, what would be the decision? If you shit yourself in a boxing ring, you can keep fighting. I mean, I can't imagine fighting on after like having a full-on bowel release in the ring, but you can't. I mean, theoretically, yes, you're allowed to shit your pants in a boxing ring. I mean, the other guy's probably going to stop hitting you for a second. Honestly, if a guy shit himself in the ring, I would probably just jump all over him, try to knock him out as soon as I could, try to stop the fight, because I don't want to be punching a guy with poopy pants. Especially like you throw a right hand, you're popping your hips. Who knows if you're swinging that, I don't know. Just take a shit before you fight. That would be nice. Okay? I'm sure you'll be featured on Minnesota's Most Wanted soon enough, says MSO. Yeah, well, there's another place that I haven't gone viral yet. Skousko says, don't forget PBD. I didn't go viral on the PBD thing. I think we only did like 10, 20,000 views on the PBD thing. We did like 800,000 on the Dave Ramsey thing. That was a little bigger, and we did like 750,000 on the protest stuff. So, oh well. Let's continue on. We're gonna get to some Jeremy and some Chrissie stuff and all that, but I did want to let you guys know, just to kind of keep you abreast of what's going on with the Hanta Virus shit. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I'm trying to bring you the news on Hanta Virus and be like, all right, we're probably fine. There's 30 Hanta Virus cases in the United States every year, and there's like 10 deaths every year from Hanta Virus. So this isn't like outside of the realm of possibility. This isn't like crazy, whatever. That on the other hand, though, I also want to freak the fuck out about it and feel like they're trying to lock us down and do COVID 2.0, because then, like, superstitiously, I believe if I do that, it won't happen. That's about how much control we have over our lives, sadly. But if what's coming out of France is to be believed, buckle up, fuckers, because this doesn't sound encouraging.
Ambulances carrying French passengers repatriated from Tenerife arrive at this Paris hospital Sunday. According to the country's health minister, a woman who showed symptoms during the repatriation flight has tested positive for Hanta Virus. This person was on the cruise ship, returned yesterday, took a turn for the worse, and has tested positive for the Hanta Virus. So this is a patient with the Hanta Virus who is being treated at a hospital specializing in infectious diseases, where the rooms are equipped with advanced technology designed to provide a high level of protection and, of course, prevent the virus from spreading. Health experts say the fact the patient who showed symptoms on board Sunday's flight had their condition worsen in a matter of hours demonstrates the virus is progressing rapidly.
This is a faster evolution than what we normally observe.
That's because you guys, they definitely fucked with this virus. This is another one that they fucked with and it got out. Because they're like, oh, we're seeing more easier human-to-human transmission than we've ever seen before. I refuse to believe that a bunch of Argentinians were bird watching in a dump, sucked in some rat feces, and just spread normal Hanta virus. Like, all of a sudden, one day, one cruise ship, that's the time that Hanta virus mutates, and it's like, oh, we're seeing them get a lot sicker, a lot faster. We're seeing it go from human to human a lot easier than it has in the past. This is another fucking strain that you guys dicked with that got out. There's no way it's not. I'm not going to stop believing that immediately every time this happens because it's come true one too many times.
We usually have onset symptoms for around 3 days where the patient complains of a fever, muscular pain, digestion problems. And after 3 days, there are symptoms of difficulty breathing, and that signals a worsening. Here, things are evolving quickly.
The 4 other patients are said to be retested and remain in isolation at hospital for around 2 weeks, with a possibility of a further extension. Authorities have also confirmed 22 French nationals are in self-quarantine after being exposed to someone with Hanta Virus. They include 8 people who traveled on a flight between St. Helena and Johannesburg, and 14 others on a flight between Johannesburg and Amsterdam.
Yeah, what is that? And what does that have to do with the cruise ship? Seems like nothing. Stop touching shit. I don't want to go to like dark ages where science is called alchemy, but like we might have to start doing it just to save ourselves from these fucking autists who can't stop. You see the scene with the little test tube and the turkey baster? We got to take those away from them. No more. In fact, we're almost at the point now where, oh, is that one of the Hanta Virus samples? Throw it in the incinerator. But we have to keep it and study it. No, you people can't be trusted to study viruses anymore because you sit there studying them and you go, what if I put some flea and tick shampoo in it? Wonder what that's going to do. Oh, what if I put some AIDS in this one? If I mix malaria with Hanta Virus, do you think that's going to be bad? Stop touching shit. Just because you're antisocial and unfuckable and have no family or legacy doesn't mean the rest of us have to suffer. Stop dicking with diseases. I'm very tempted to tell all of these multi-billion-dollar labs we have all over the world, you know what? Whatever we've learned about illnesses, that's where we're going to stop. That's what we know. That's all we're ever going to know. Good enough. Pick it up. Let's go home. Because you guys can't stop putting your grubby little dick skinners all over these sicknesses. So stop it. Main Vein with $1 says, quit jerking yourself off, viral boy. Humility is Christ-like. It's not jerking myself off. I'm very happy about it. But I was also being humble in which I said, I've gone viral. I made fun of myself. I said, I've gone viral 3 times this year and nothing's happened. So that's self-deprecating. Randall Flagg with $1 says, Aaron, are you joking? Yes. There are Somalis all over a YMCA in St. Cloud, Minnesota? Correct. If you told me this was happening 20 years ago, I'd call a hospital and have you committed to a psych ward. Well, thank God I'm a man of my era. Main Vein with $5. Thank you, pal. He says, I'm not worried about the actual virus yet. Currently, I'm more concerned about how everyone else is going to react to the fear porn we're all being force-fed. Well, the boomers will do it first because they're the ones watching like TV news, and they usually go after you the most. Is the TV news tries to scare the shit out of you. Yes, Honky, oranges in the chat. Guys, don't forget to post your oranges in the chat. Thanks for the start you're off to tonight. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Oh my God, that's the first time I've had to say that today. Weird, right? Very strange. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And 98 memberships away from 600. All right, let's get our quartering updates. We got a couple, and you're going to love these. These are very, very funny. We're not going to be shouting. We're not going to be screaming. We all get to have fun, okay? We're going to make fun of Melanie Mack and her Christianity grift. I encourage people to talk about their faith. I encourage people to talk about their religion, Islam, Christianity, like Catholicism, Protestantism. I mean, we should be rounding up all the evangelicals and putting them in camps, but everybody agrees with that one, so that's not controversial. We can just, the evangelicals have to go. But everybody else, especially Jews, need to talk about their faith because I need to know exactly where they're at. But Melanie Mack makes it very difficult to respect that position because... And I said this morning, because of Chrissie Mayr and Melanie Mack not knowing what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to religion, it makes me want to talk about it less. Like, it really does humble me because I do make an effort. I do know a lot about my church. I do know a lot about, I follow what's going on in the Vatican week to week and what the Pope's talking about and all of that stuff. But I'm like, maybe I should just shut my fucking mouth about that because I feel like I get lumped in with these people and I'm a shitload of a lot more authentic about my faith. I'm not like, oh, I've always been this way. I got confirmed. I strayed away from it for a long time. I came back because I fucked things up so bad. And it's really given me a lot of peace. But like, when I heard Chrissie go, I picked Catholicism, but like, I'm not a Bible nerd and I'm not really a church person, then get the fuck out. I'm not a Bible nerd. That's all we do. We read the Bible and we turn bread and wine into the body and blood of Jesus Christ. That's what the whole fucking hour's about. Reading the Bible, bringing Jesus down. That we read the Bible, we call down the thunder. That's the whole thing. And the popes from Peter on to Leo have said once a weekend, whether it's Saturday night or Sunday, you should be receiving the body and blood. So you should be going to mass and you should be attending once a week. So like, I'm not really a Bible nerd. I'm not. You picked the one sect of Christianity that demands you be a bit of a Bible nerd and you show up. It's the pesky thing about Catholicism. It's got rules. Now, Melanie strikes me much more as like a backup singer in one of those Christian evangelical megachurch bands. That's like the pastor's opening act where they jam out for like 4 songs and the guy goes, hey, you want to speak in tongues? Shamalama ding dong. Okay. She strikes me more as that type. Let's play the Melanie Mac thing first. This is her idea of making God fun.
Islam is not compatible with the West.
You're wrong. Islam is not compatible with anywhere. Islam is demonic.
Yeah!
Heck yeah.
Christ is king!
Christ is Lord.
Oh my God! Repent. Repent and repent. You're 40. We don't do this. I'm 40. We don't do this. This is not what 40-year-olds do. First of all, hey, I'm going to be super Christian. Hey, what should we do to be super Christian? Let's bag the shit out of other religions. Like, well, that's not the first thing I would do. I mean, we can talk about Protestantism and Catholicism, and we can discuss the differences like Professor Tie-Dye and I do and all that. But like when your first thing is like, hey, fags and goat fuckers, am I right? It's like, I don't think that's what he meant. I don't think that's what he talked about. And I don't think freak dancing to Christ is King is, it just, to me, it doesn't come off as genuine. That's all. Redbird with $5 says, good evening. Is it though? Did I just make it a bad evening for a lot of people? I apologize. Although Mountain Jews does say, damn, I would fuck that redhead. Well, that's not the lesson we were trying to learn there, but I understand. That's okay. Historically White says, Aaron doesn't sound like this at all. I don't sound like that at all. And I can't dance. Lukewarm Christians. Aaron doesn't speak in tongues. He speaks in chins. I fucking hate you guys. Nice Guy News says Melanie is zogged out. We're taking down the Zog machine. Sing it, Papa Shab. He will too. He'll write it in the chat. Mountain Jew says, I watched on Rumble Russell Brand pretending he's a Christian today. What a fucking scumbag rapist. By the way, none of that is hyperbolic. He is a scumbag rapist. Soon to be convicted scumbag rapist. Historically White says now he admits he's 40. I mean, I'm like 7.5 months away. I'm going to have to stop struggling at some point, right? Rusty Grammar says she looks good for 40 minus the hair. I mean, she's got the tits of a 13-year-old. Congratulations on that, right? Knock it off, you perverts. I meant they're tiny. I meant she has little You guys are pieces of shit. You should all repent. Honky says, flat-chested, tatted up, god-awful voice, decent-sized forehead. Wife number 3, Aaron. I'm good. I'm good. Yep, Bappa said it in the chat. Jew by Jew by Jew. I knew he would. Let's see if he'll finish. Let's play Complete That Lyric with Bappa Shab. He'll be a co-star tonight. We've witnessed all the glory of the trampling at the zoo. And now your part. We'll see if he does it. Lander says she definitely does anal before marriage. Taste Fairy Ialto says Russell Brand may be a scumbag rapist, but Aaron is a scumbag papist. If only it were big enough to put on a license plate, you know? McBuster says, I turned into Brand for approximately 60 seconds. He is a premium scumbag. Primo. Bappa Shab says, I'm just really confused about her husband. Don't be confused about her husband. Melanie Mack has this weird fetish, and this may be why her and Jer are so compatible. Melanie Mack has this fetish where she's been married twice. She exclusively marries gay guys. Right? Like everyone has a fetish, but like, you know, this could be a Christian thing she's doing. It might not be a grift. She might be marrying the cocksuckers in order to turn them heterosexual. But the problem is they see her body and then all they think of is like a 19-year-old boy. And they go, oh man, I need some asshole again. So she's kind of taking one for the team. If you will, baby. Honky says Aaron has just been banned from the Ren Fair. Damn it! Did I don't think Bappa Shab ever finished that lyric. No. He never finished that lyric. I thought we were vibing. I was wrong. Skowsko says the white man marches on. No, does no one know the next part of that song? Am I the only one who knows that song word for word? We've witnessed all the glory of the trampling at the zoo. And I'm hoping that somebody knows the next part. Damn. Joey Caravello's mommy says, dude, I'm so psyched you don't cover internet drama. Such a nice break. Well, I think this goes beyond internet drama. This was the #1 trending news story on Twitter this weekend. So I think this goes beyond drama. Rusty Graham. Yeah, nobody. Wow. I think you guys just want me to say the words to the song. Skowsko says, we already put it there. No, you didn't. You did the Jew by Jew by Jew part. Not the other part. Go back up in the chat. I'm going back up in the chat and... Oh, you know what? Hulkamasha baby did. Aaron washed his hands in his blood, but the next part is, and all the mongrels too. It's not important. It's not important. Randall Flagg with $1 says, Melanie Mack is a bigger lol cow than Jeremy. She was a vegan liberal atheist like 4 years ago. She knows nothing about God, and she blocked me on Discord once she said Catholics aren't real Christians. Oh, she's one of those. Catholics aren't real Christians. That's nice. Don't take the bait, Aaron. Don't take the bait. He named Peter Rock and then said on this, Peter, I will build my church. Those words shouldn't come out of my mouth. Petra means rock. I shall call you Petra. And upon this rock, I will build my church. I'll name you Rock. La 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 la. And on, see, look what you did. Look what you did. Yeah, or the Latin Petros. Petros. Greek, I think, was Petros. Greek for Peter. Oh, no, you're right. It's Petros, not Petros. My Greek is fucked up. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, fuck me right in the asshole for getting my A's and O's mixed up. Melanie Mack's husband is a rock puffer. I mean, until he proves he's not. Until he proves he's not. Okay, let's, so we do have a Jeremy clip tonight. We might have had our first escape from the Quartering Ranch. There might be a smart one, and I see a way out of this drama for Chrissie. You know, Chrissie's career is in the shitter now. She's fucking done. Less people are going to want to work with her. She's going to lose the Friday Night Tights thing. which I think is the biggest show she's on. I'm going to make a bold prediction right now, and I feel like me just making this prediction is going to make it not come true. Chrissie Mayr, before the end of the year, fuck that, end of the year is too easy. Chrissie Mayr, by the end of the summer, will be a co-host on The Quartering. Hey, if her 2-year-old will let her. If her 2-year-old will let her. And, you know, she did the me mom died in the holly, me dad died thing. She can't follow news that she's supposed to talk about for shows because her dad died over 2 years ago. And if your dad died over 2 years, almost 3 years ago now, you obviously can't follow the news. What do you do? So Jeremy's Hannah, now what is it Hannah Belle Claire or Hannah Claire? Hannah Claire. One of his co-hosts might have given him the slip. This is from today's episode of The Quartering with big old grizzly bear Jer.
I don't know why he won't say HCB is not here. Oh, HCB is just taking some time off. She's got a new baby. And the summertime news is...
That's a kiss of death for a podcaster. That's what Chrissie Mayr told me. She had a new baby, and then all of a sudden she... You know what's funny about that? Is like Chrissie is the same level of uninformed and untalented she was before she had her kids. So like she's kind of unnecessarily throwing her baby under the bus. Because like the baby didn't suck the talent out of your tit. Like you're still the same. Like you're just making more mistakes. You're finding it harder to cover up all of those glaring weaknesses and contradictions. So I don't blame the kid. I think it's unfair to blame the kid for you sucking shit at your job. You always have. You just were able to trick people more. You were a better sleight of hand magician.
Slow. So, you know, she's going to take some time off and then
She's taking time off!
Oh, buddy!
What? I read that in PPP's voice every time someone does shit like that in the chat. I can't. She's taking time off. She's leaving. He shits his pants.
Oh, buddy!
What? She's abandoning ship. She's leaving the show because he's a cock.
Oh, buddy!
Hey, what? There but for the grace of God go I.
hit it full steam ahead, closer to when the midterms start.
Yeah.
She's got her own channels to work on too.
Right.
She's got a young baby. Summer changes, childcare schedules, all that kind of stuff. So I may change the time I stream to try and help accommodate. So we're working on
Let's go head to head in the mornings, Jer. Come on. Let's do it, Jer Bear. I'll snipe you. It'll be fun. No, his co-host bailing. She's getting the fuck out of Dodge, which is a smart move because he's toxic to be around. Now, we talked to Meme Copium today, and Meme Copium informed me that this Hannah Claire is part of the Brimelow family. And the Brimelow family is very controversial, like with white supremacy ties, shit like that. So he said that she has a hard time finding gainful employment because of her, because of her family ties. So you know what though? I mean, I'd rather be associated with the Brimelows than Jeremy from the Quartering at that point. It's a lot easier to explain, my family thinks blacks aren't people, than it is to explain, my boss gets really drunk, shits his pants, and says so many perverted things on stream that he's not allowed to go to Renaissance festivals anymore. I mean, I would rather explain the Brimelow thing. So she's gone. She ain't coming back. I don't think Melanie Mack was on there today. Melanie Mack doesn't have anywhere else she can go. She burned the vegan atheist bridge long ago, and this corny, new age mega church evangelical vibe she's got going on. No thanks. And and also Chrissy going, Jesus talked to sinners and stuff like that. Yeah, to redeem them, not to give their OnlyFans links out. We don't allow OnlyFans, Chrissy. And look, I got a head start. I was raised in the Catholic Church, confirmed at 15. I'll help you out here. Maybe they didn't go up there and tell you during your Catholicism classes. We don't endorse prostitution. We don't endorse sins of the flesh. We don't give out OnlyFans links and promote OnlyFans people. Jesus is not vibing with that shit. Just a little something that might help you in your future Catholicism. Thank you very much to Vaughn Kaiser gifting a membership. Very sweet of you. Oh, shit. No one's given 10 yet tonight, have they? Because I forget we have that new $10 drop. I love using that thing. Das Optic Nerve with $1 says Chrissie shit on her chat. That's just a stupid thing to do. That it is. Honky says, in this house, I can't do it, Tony Montana. I'm so sorry. In this house, Peter Brimelow is a hero. End of story. Peter Brimelow. That's the one I was thinking of. Chad Buzamok says, confirmed at 15. Confirmed gay? No, but there was this weird thing where, like, as soon as I said no, but, they're like, oh, God, what's this story going to be? There were 2 priests at my confirmation at the Basilica in St. Paul. Or the St. Paul Cathedral, excuse me. There's a basilica in Minneapolis. 2 different things. I apologize. St. Paul's Cathedral is where I got confirmed. And when I went up to do the oil, the whole rite, the priests were taking turns congratulating the newly confirmed. And the priest forgot which turn it was, and they both went to shake my hand as I went towards them, and the older priest went, ho, 2 priests coming towards you. I had to make you nervous. I'm like, I didn't know we were fucking making jokes about it. And like, this was while it was hot. This was, 2002? So this was like Pope John Paul was not doing so great. The church was kind of in the hands of Ratzinger, soon to be Benedict, and he was shuffling the priests around and shit. Like, it was in the middle of all that stuff coming out. And these priests were like, 2 priests coming at you probably made you nervous. And I'm like, actually, yeah, but I didn't think we were talking about it. That was that's what I remember from my confirmation. But yeah, I honestly think that Chrissie's going to be working for the quartering before the end of the summer, for sure. No, Scouse Ghost, I did not get spit roasted by 2 priests. Surprised any steel-toe bishop was there, Aaron. It was Bishop Flynn at the time. Bishop Flynn was there. Harry Flynn. I know that doesn't sound like a real name, but that was Harry Flynn was the bishop here in Minnesota, and now it's oh no, I got so used to Harry Flynn. Oh shit, I think it's Peter something is the bishop now. Harry Joseph Flynn, American prelate bishop of the Catholic Church, who served as archbishop as the Diocese of St. Paul. Current St. Paul, Minnesota bishop is Bernard Hebda. Really? I was way the fuck off on that one. I'm still stuck on Harry Flynn. Catholic Church of Minnesota has several key leaders, notably Bishop Robert Barron, which is the Archdiocese of Winona, Rochester. Oh, that's why I don't remember who the St. Cloud one is. It's because I grew up with Flynn in St. Paul. Bishop Patrick Neary is the bishop in St. Cloud. I've still got 1 foot back home. My bad. Hey, I got a great idea. Nobody fucking cares. Let's continue on. I was going to have Keanu on the show today, but because some butthurt little cunt, because he likes to make phone calls and send emails if I even am anywhere near these people, I thought I'd make it easier on myself, and I would just play their clip from today about the Chrissie stuff. Here's why. I've been very hard on Chrissie. The entire internet's been much harder on Chrissie. Kino Casino's about to leave her in pieces on the floor. They're very adept at it. Not a lot of people speaking out publicly in favor of Chrissie Mayr. Well, Keanu and Geno decided that they would take it upon themselves to defend Chrissie. Now, here's what bothers me about Geno and Keanu defending Chrissie, and this makes both of them better people than I would be in this situation. they both know deep down, whether they'll say it or not, they both know for a fact that Chrissie would never do this for them if the tables were turned. In fact, Chrissie had an opportunity to do this for them, and she banned Keanu from Simpcast for what, a month? Because she chose Melanie. This is not the first time Melanie Mack's done something fucked up, and Chrissie swept for her at the expense of someone else. She did it to Venti this time, but she did it to Keanu first. And a lot of people are going to learn this lore. So watching Keanu and Geno, and I'm not going to say they're sweeping for Chrissie because I do think they're being genuine. I think they're being authentic. But watching them defend her when I know for a fact that when Chrissie had the opportunity to do the same, she did not. I think didn't she also sell Keanu down the river with that MJ chick when they were talking about trans people? Because Chrissie didn't want to lose this image that she's some based anti-trans person, which, by the way, people can be mad at the Catholic thing all they want. The political grift is the bigger one. She doesn't know shit about politics. She's like Jeremy. She goes, what's viral? Let me just be that thing. You know, like I said, they both make Tim Pool, look like Peter Brimelow, for God's sake. So this is Geno and Keanu defending Chrissie because I think she deserves at least some defense before I start yelling and screaming again.
Apparently during the week, and I reached out to Chrissie. I'm not even going to pretend to know what's going on. I will say this.
I'll tell you what's going on. Her dad died and she's got a baby. Her dad died in the Holy and she's got a baby. So she can't follow. Look, I don't want to call her out for that. Everyone's different. Frank could lift a fucking finger. Frank could go find a sales gig. Frank could do something other than ban people in Chrissie's chat while he's shaking a rattle in front of the kid. But I have raised children while prepping a show with my wife at the time. And then I've had them every other day, 50% of the time, and still had to put shows together. So I've done it both ways. I've done it Chrissie's way, and then I've done the 50% single parent way. And I can tell you, it's especially two. Two is not a baby. All right. Two is not like fully like independent, but two is two. Two, they can do some shit. You can put a show together. It doesn't take you long to go through Twitter, go through your algorithm, find some news stories, look at what's trending, seeing what's going on. You can put one headphone in this ear, you can listen to clips and watch shit and like through osmosis pick a lot of this shit up. I did it. I had a fucking #1 radio show that was growing and growing, and I was able to do it with a house full of kids. And then doing this, I have my kids half the time, and I am able to put shows together. I got 3 of them. Apparently, Chrissie would throw herself out of the fucking window half the time in my life, but I find a way. And I know a lot more about the news than Chrissie does. I know a lot about everything more than Chrissie does. She just doesn't want to or can't put in the work. And to use your kid or your dead dad to excuse that is fucking gross. But anyway, go ahead, Geno.
Somebody put oranges in the chat, and I was flattered. I was flattered because I don't know what's going on.
He immediately tried to squeeze them into his Jameson.
I'm a cranky old Italian man, and
Italian, you giddy. There's no idly.
I'm speaking for myself. I will not disclose anything. Chrissie texted me back. It wasn't that dramatic. It wasn't anything. But I will tell you what I texted.
She asked him what the oranges were for. And Geno said, God, I'm so mad about the 76ers. And she said, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Her today. Brittany Venti is a...
Yeah.
That's how I talk. And she said, she loves you. She's like, Keanu's... Yeah. She called you loyal or something stupid.
I am, of course.
Right. I agree. Keanu's loyal to Chrissie. Chrissie is not loyal to Keanu.
Then why were you trying to all those old men, Keanu?
Which time?
I can't keep track. But I texted her. I said, Brittany Venti's... Because
look, Brittany Venti is a cunt, but Brittany Venti will tell you herself she's a cunt. Brittany's not here to make friends online. I'm sure she does that in her private time. Brittany Venti's not here to make friends online. Brittany Venti, through sober eyes, sees shit the way it is, grabs onto shit, remembers shit, has a memory like a steel trap, and brings it up. The reason a lot of people hate Brittany Venti is she's a human fucking lie detector. All right? You say something, and in those moments where most of us will go, let it go. I know she's lying, but it's uncomfortable to call it out. Brittany just goes, actually, let me reach back in my file here. Actually, you said this. You're saying this now to try and get out of it. I want you to address that. And a lot of people went, towards the end, it got repetitive. That's because Brittany wasn't going to let it go until Chrissie answered the question, and she wouldn't answer. She kept changing it and making it about something else. Well, I'm not going to apologize for having my friend on. Nobody's criticizing you for having your friend on. We said you were disingenuous with the super chats and you were playing stupid when the proof is in the pudding that you knew better. Apologize for that. Well, I'm sorry you're mad. Brittany Venti tweeted something very funny. She tweeted, I'm sorry I feel this way.
All I know is she's on last night, okay? And you didn't do it because you were doing your euphoria party with two men, queers, good friends of mine.
She wanted to try and address it there and move on, and of course that wasn't going to happen.
Over $2,000 in super chats, and let me say this, put that right in the Beans College Fund.
Here's the deal, Geno, and I would tell Geno this privately, personally as well. That is the very definition of what we call short money, because 2,400, so 240. 480, take 720 off of that for YouTube. So now we're at about $1,700. You made $1,700. I mean, in New York, right? That ain't rent. And it's short money because the way you conducted yourself, you're not going to make that $1,700 again. So congratulations. Maybe you paid your rent for a month. That's about it.
Oh, you should have given it to shut your f***ing grifting mouth, Brittany Venti. The last thing I saw with Brittany Venti, and I'm going to speak out of school, she tried to steal Chrissie's wedding cake.
Not tried to.
Now, Brittany Venti says that she went to the wedding venue people and said, could I have some cake? And they gave her the cake topper. Like, they gave her the top of the cake, and she ate it. And, like, I guess Chrissie was mad about this, because you're supposed to take the cake topper and freeze it, the top of the cake, and freeze it and eat it on your first anniversary. I don't know. I never make it that far. I got a freezer full of fucking uneaten wedding cake from 2 different weddings. I ask SP, I say, you want some cake? She's like, I'm good, thanks. I don't need that cake.
Not because she's evil, because she's stupid and has no people skills. No. And where do stupid people with no people skills go? You said it, Chad Zumach, to YouTube.
And she does really well with it because she's fucking psychotically obsessed with detail and doesn't care if strangers like her or not. That's why she's so good at it.
Where do talented people go and lose their talent? Where do talented people go and then lose their people skills? You said it, Kevin Brennan. YouTube. So when you are walking out with the top of a
isn't the person you're defending making their living entirely on YouTube? Like, this is like what do you call a circular firing squad that we're doing here? You're kind of everybody's catching strays, but that's Geno. Like with Geno, everybody catches strays. It's like Geno could go, hey, do you want me to be there for moral support and not say anything, or would you like me to speak out on your behalf? I'd be like, why don't you stand behind me and be there for moral support while I talk? Because you sometimes do the circular firing squad thing. I got 6.5 days worth of proof for that one.
And then all you're doing, fast forward 2-3 years later, go apologize. And then Chris like, I'm really sorry. Yeah, but I don't feel like, well, I'm really sorry. Yeah, but shut the fuck up.
Gene, and
But she didn't apologize for misleading her audience, lying to her audience, and lying about Brittany. She lied about Brittany Venti. She did not apologize to Brittany for that. She kept saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you're mad. I'm sorry that's the impression I gave you. How hard is it to go, Brittany, I told people I didn't see your message. I lied about that. I did see your message. I just wanted to end my show, so I lied. There. Now you've taken all the air out of that criticism, and you can face it, you can laugh about it because you admitted it. Instead, you're sorry Brittany Venti feels that way. So this is kind of a misrepresentation, or, of course, Geno and I are just seeing it differently.
Ungrateful.
Gene, I shit you not.
Put it on you.
And then Brittany complained after she devoured the top of Chrissy's wedding cake. She complained that there was corn in it because of her corn allergy.
She does have a corn allergy. I think all these stories make me like Brittany Venti more. She's like, excuse me, I'm hungry. Do you have any of the cake? And she's this tiny person. She's a small person. And they're like, here, we'll bring you the top. She's like, I don't give a fuck. And like, she's part black. So she didn't care about white people's tradition. And so she's just a black queen eating her cake, not knowing that that's the part that if Chrissy and Frank wanted to save that part, the staff shouldn't have given it to Venti. And then she's sitting there like, Will Smith and Hitch because she has a corn allergy.
I just heard that. I just heard it. I don't care how you feel about whoever or whatever. This woman has always been unpleasant. She's perfect for the internet. She calls people out. She does all of this stuff, but she is very I don't even know what else to say. There are some shocking stories about Miss Venti. So
I want to hear them. I want to hear the stories about Brittany Venti. I want to hear all of them. I want to hear about the cakes. I want to hear about the good stories. I want to hear about the bad stories. I don't think she'd give a shit if you told the bad stories.
At the very least.
I don't like that. I don't like that when people are defending someone else. They're like, there's a lot of bad shit about this person. Believe me. Come on. We're on the internet. We're all playing dirty. Let's hear it. Bring the knives out. Let's hear about this rotten fucking bitch. I want to hear it. Come on, Keanu. People are like, oh, Keanu's still got those texts from April. Yeah, I still think those would be fucking fascinating to hear. I got stories about Brittany Venti. I want to hear those too. I got stories about Chrissy's dead dad. Fuck it. Let's flip them all out there.
I guess, Venti. And, if Chrissy's explanation, Chrissy will never win trying to explain herself, and she's doing the best she can.
She can win long term. She'll never win short term because she's aligned herself with nefarious people. But she can win long term. She can win long term by admitting what she did, apologizing for it, having a sense of humor about it, opening up the chat, reading every super chat, not just the positive ones, facing them, joking about them, confronting it head on, and admitting to what she did. You're going to have to pay a penance. You know what? Chrissy's a new Catholic. Let me educate her on a little something called purgatory that we believe in. Chrissy would have to be in YouTube purgatory where she pays for her sins for a while, but you can't start serving in purgatory unless you confess and admit your sins. You can't just go, I'm sorry you feel that way, and la-di-da, now I'll just serve out my time. You got to say what you did. You got to apologize for it. You got to make jokes about it. You got to let other people fuck on you for it. Then you'll make more money. If this is all about the money, you face it head on, you'll make more money. People want to super chat you about it because you're willing to talk about it. But I think her whole life outside of her kid is online. Somebody was saying that at her wedding, it was only internet personalities and not like real world friends. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is true, that says a lot. I think about how much she values the online stuff. It's also why I don't buy it when she says, oh, I don't follow a lot of this stuff anymore. Don't plead ignorance. Just admit you wanted to sweep for your friend.
And I think she fully was trying to take accountability and explain, and it will never, ever be good enough for everyone. And that she is Brittany's such a Martian.
Can you explain to me before I go on what the oranges are about?
Oh, see, now we're going to get into Jeremy and what are the oranges for and him stealing content and all of that stuff. God, you just forget that there's so many layers to this onions. You hate him for stealing content. You hate him for striking channels. You hate the people who are covering for him and like burning other people and lying about them. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, like they're trying to defend her. Let's jump around a little bit.
People's real.
Yeah.
Venti is unpleasant. And we've always known that. And if I were Chrissy, like I said earlier, Gene, I would have said, yeah, you know what, bitch? I left you on red. I left you on red. I lied to you. Okay. That's it.
But right. But Keanu's right. That's how she should have handled it. I was saying to SP while we were listening to it last night, I was going, why doesn't Chrissy just say what she wants to say? Instead of trying to pretend. Chrissy's biggest flaw is that she pretends she's a nicer person than she is. You're a rotten, low-down bitch, too, just like everybody else. All right? You're not above it. You're not better. All right? Just say what you wanted to say, which is, Brittany, fuck you. I don't owe you an explanation. She came on and one of the first things she said was, I feel like I'm being bullied into it. Bitch, you're 40. You don't have to be bullied into shit if you don't want to. Look into that camera and go, here's my statement. That was a queef, motherfucker. I don't give a shit about anything you got to say. Suck my lady dick. I'm moving on. And then have your simpcast. See how it goes. I guess can't make $2,400 that way.
Because
and this is what I said to Chrissy. I'm like, and she defended her. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say what she said, but you know, Chrissy, she's like, yeah.
You talking about Melanie? You talking about Melanie?
No, about Brittany. And you know, I'm not going to say what she said, but let me say what she said. Something I never would have said because she's nice. Right. You know what I mean? And she said nice things about Brittany Venti while I'm screaming. You know, and I said, she's like, well, you know, and I said, you know what my problem is? I go, I'm like, I've been like this since day one. I'm sorry that, like, you can make fun of me here. Keanu, how often do I say to you, I'm like, sorry, Keanu, I get butthurt. Do I not? Yeah. I'm like, sorry, I got butthurt.
All right. It's turning into about Geno. But yeah, you get the idea. I think Chrissy deserves people to stand up for her. I think that's, you know, fine that those two are standing up for her. But at the same time, you know, if you're going to get her back, I think you ought to pull her aside and be like, there were better ways for you to handle this. You know, keep her, maybe show her where some of the landmines are buried. Crunchy with $5 says, I'm so sick of this shit. Who cares about these people? It's beneath this show. Keep it in your group chat. You know, when this stuff gets really viral and it's really out there and I enjoy pontificating about it, I have to have that push and pull where I have an audience who a lot of the base of it does not give a shit. So like, I want to attract this new audience. We've had a lot more new subs today and I appreciate that. But then I have to keep the originals happy who are like, I don't fucking like this. And like, those are valid opinions too. So we're done with it now. That's the end of it. Thank you very much. I appreciate, you know, if you were here for that coverage, I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck with me and you can't stand that shit, I thank you for hanging in there. Both of you. How's that? Everybody's either happy or everybody's unhappy. That's how compromise goes. Dan Vicious with $2 says, hey, did you see Operation Iron Pursuit? Arrested 350 sickos and recovered over 200 child victims? No, but that's great. That's awesome. Chevrolet JB with $1. Says, I'm with Crunchy. This shit is gay. Well, let those fives just roll in then because we're done. We're all finished. So let your memberships roll in and your Rumble rants and your Super Chats and your PayPals and your Venmos and your Streamlabs. Thank you very, very much. Anna Wall says, which is why she didn't ask for cake at first, but then someone told her there was no corn in the cake, so she went up and asked for some. All right. Now Venti's got to answer for Corngate and Cakegate. All the other gates. Phil Herslit says Keanu should have Gabe Hoffman on to talk about Venti. $1 from Silverwolf says, at this point, and listening since the first days of 101.7, I'm here for you. I don't care what we talk about. Oh, that's very kind. And that also enables me to be a complete rat fuck. Honky says, so the quartering and Chrissy are off the hook because Venti has a top of a wedding cake fetish? It's a domination thing. She's a very domineering woman, that Brittany Venti. Yeah, who gives a shit if she ate the top of your cake? You're all getting divorced. Just be the jaded guy. They're all going to start doing coke and fucking on you. Oh, and of course, you're going to be a piece of shit as well. They're saying she's in purgatory now. Yeah, but it goes a lot easier if you confess your sins. Does Geno even know what's happening, says Historically White. No, but I think he would admit that too. Chevrolet JB says, was really hoping to see the Zach X talking to Walls. Saved it for the show.
Who the fuck okayed that?
Did Zach X talk to Walls? Link, please. Link, please. I haven't seen that. I have not seen it. Joey Caravello's mommy says, can these two morons ever do a show without the other one butting in? Well, as someone who did a show with their spouse for a while, you kind of just, you bounce off of each other, essentially. Then towards the end, April was literally bouncing. Took it a little too literally. Skousko says, one Venti is worth 20 Genos and Keanus. All I know is I don't want to be on Brittany Venti's bad side in terms of internet shit. That's a yes no mum kind of a thing. She's like I said, she's a human lie detector. That Brittany Venti. Sean says, you know what I learned? Absolutely nothing I cared about. There we go. All right, guys, you ready to jump back into the news like good old boys and girls? Let's see how we do with that. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Not bad from where we're at in the show. Please and thank you. We appreciate your time. This story was sent to me by one of our fans named Adam. Adam sent this one in. Fine, it was Husey. No. This actually pisses me off. Some former FBI guy got a sober DUI charge. Now, we've talked about these before where people will blow zeros. They won't have any drugs in their system, nothing, but the cops are on such a power trip and so eager to find excuses to take people in, they'll give you a DUI charge when you weren't drunk. We saw them take that guy in on the day his daughter was going to graduate from high school, and he had, what was it, Adderall or anti-anxiety meds or something, blew a 0.0 on his breathalyzer, was totally sober, but they found the pill bottle in his back seat where he had broken one in half because he didn't need as much that day, so he took one extra. God forbid, with drug prices where they are, some working class, and he was wearing a vest, a yellow vest. God forbid a day laborer want to save a little extra money and break his pill in half. What a dick. They took him in. He's currently suing the state of Minnesota and that cop, and I hope he wins. I can't remember the guy's name. We covered it on the show. But I don't like it when these law enforcement guys all of a sudden get butt-fucked by law enforcement, and then they go, oh, well, gee golly gosh, something has to change. Oh, when it happened to you. Let's not pretend like you didn't see this in your years of law enforcement and just went, it's fine. It's a funding mechanism. What are you going to do? I'm sure he fucked up somewhere at some point. I'm fine with it. But then it happens to you. This is like the opposite of not in my backyard. Once it happens to him, all of a sudden it's about social justice now. Let's take a look.
A WVLT investigative report tonight, a year after what started as a minor fender bender near Westtown Mall in Knoxville. A woman says her night ended in jail, humiliated, while completely sober. Good evening, glad you're here for WVLT News at 6 o'clock. I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Casey Wheelis. She's now taking that Knoxville police officer and the city to federal court, claiming that officer rushed a DUI arrest, fabricated evidence, and violated her civil rights. Our Harry Sullivan joins us now.
Again, when you were an FBI executive, you were working for an organization who the main thrust of their job is violating people's civil rights. But again, now it happened to you. So now we're going to fight. It's great.
You have body cam footage from...
That's like people went... I'm sorry for pausing so much. I will stop. But I'm fired up tonight. That's like these people, like Eisenhower. He's leaving office, and he's like, oh, hey, look out for that military-industrial complex. Bye before they blow my head off. Or George Washington going, avoid entangling alliances. See you guys. I'm going to go tend to my slaves. Like all these people who leave politics, like MTG and all this, and then they're like, you know about that Israel lobby. You got to look out for those Jews. They're shifty. And you're like, oh, wow, if only you had been in a place where you could have rang this bell before.
That traffic stop. Plus, you talked to the retired agent herself. What did you learn?
Yeah, Allison Chumis doesn't want anyone to go through what she went through, and she's calling for
now
change.
That she's went through
I
it.
sat down with a Lenore City resident who says her civil rights were violated. A fender bender on Father's Day weekend last year turned into a DUI arrest.
You have the right to remain silent.
That's now at the center of a federal civil rights lawsuit.
The almost immediate suggestion that I had been drinking was very surprising, shocking, and I denied it.
Right. You're just a woman. You suck shit at driving genetically. It's not your fault. I wouldn't even have blamed that on you. I would have called it a no-fault accident.
To him, and yet he continued to press on that.
Allison Chumis says Knoxville police officer Christian Ferreras took over the call, spent about a minute talking to drivers, and then moved quickly into field sobriety tests.
I smell a thing of alcoholic beverage.
The lawsuit claims those tests were not properly administered and says Ferreras fabricated smelling alcohol.
She nailed the. We always see people fuck up that head test where they move their head, not their eyes. She killed that one.
Light he was using flashed on and off intermittently, and I raised that to his attention 3 times. Lights off again, and he did not respond at all about that. And yet the test is follow the pen light.
Wow, it's almost like the police use those tests to entrap people and use it as an excuse to arrest them, and it's never administered in good faith. But again, you knew this, you're just mad because it happened to you.
Chumis, who spent more than 3 decades with the FBI, says she never pulled that card at the roadside, even after being put in cuffs.
He did not tell me that I failed it. He did not tell me that I passed it. He just handcuffed me.
Again, almost like the test in and of itself is a process of the arrest. Once they start administering the test, you're going to get arrested.
The lawsuit says she was booked into the Knox County Detention Facility, strip searched, issued jail clothing, fingerprinted and photographed, then held for more than 12 hours before being released.
You know, being told to disrobe in front of a female deputy was humiliating as well, all the way down to naked, given clearly old, dingy underwear that had been worn by who knows how many.
Again, this is how fucking jail works. You were working in law enforcement. They didn't just start doing this when you got there. It's always been that way. You didn't care then. You didn't care until you went in. God. My civil rights have been violated. No, they gave you the same treatment they gave everyone else. So either your civil rights weren't violated or everybody's civil rights are being violated. You understand?
Inmates prior to me was just unreal, just stressful, traumatic.
The complaint also describes what happened after, saying bond conditions required an ignition interlock device and that it malfunctioned, disabling her car in traffic. Court records in the lawsuit say the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation lab reports later came back negative for both alcohol and drugs, and the DUI charge was dismissed months later on December 4th. This is the 3rd sober DUI case we've reported on in the past month alone. Chumis's attorney, Wesley Clark, says this case is all about protecting innocent people.
We're not inventing some new legal theory to pursue these civil rights violations. These false DUI arrests and malicious prosecutions of innocent Tennesseans violate the 4th Amendment to the United States Constitution, and that's pretty basic.
In the federal complaint, Chumis claims unlawful arrest and malicious prosecution.
She is fucking up that. Yeah, you know what, though? She is wobbly as all shit. She just sucks. She's just uncoordinated and a woman and has shitty shoes on.
Images and asking a jury to decide the case. She says she doesn't want to see anyone go through what she did.
If it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. And it has. There was no alcohol in my system. There were no drugs in my system.
Yeah, it's a dirty move that he can be like, oh, I smell alcohol on you, and she has none. Well, you're a liar. I think that field sobriety test ought to be made illegal completely. I don't think I've ever had to do one. I know I've had a breathalyzer. I fell asleep at the wheel and I rear-ended someone. And they're like, dude, you fucked this up so bad, we have to breathalyze you. And it was zeros, of course. But like, that field sobriety test has to be made illegal because they don't do it in good faith. You're never like, oh, hey, you did a great job. Go home, you scamp. Like, even when you're sober, they still use it as an excuse to arrest you. Shitty. It's awful. Rusty Grammer says, someone did this to her, Aaron. Oh, well, yeah, you know, you always hate to hear that. You always hate to hear when some blonde lady goes, somebody did this to me. You're like, oh, man, that's weird because, like, every time something bad has happened to you, it was always some other terrible human being's fault. That's really weird that keeps happening to you. An intelligent person might say that this is kind of a scam that you're running to avoid accountability, but I know better. You're just a victim. And you need a protector. Lander says, but Aaron, she's a poor, defenseless, blonde-haired white woman with tears. Tears, Aaron! You're right. I should have been a little easier on her. No, I mean, honestly, if she's one of the straws that breaks the camel's back when it comes to these, like I said, these bullshit field sobriety test arrests, then great. I just find it interesting that this chick is like, oh, this is so horrible. This is a terrible system. When it's been this, like, this isn't a surprise. They didn't just start doing this with you. That's all. Cameron says in Utah, I think the limit is 0.06. 0.06. I was watching a couple drink beers until they got to 0.08. And it took them like 7 or 8 Coors Lights to get to 0.08. And one of them was like a little lady. The other one was like a normal sized dude, if not maybe even a guy who wears a medium. I don't know. Little guy. And it took him like 8 Coors Lights. Now that tells me either my tolerance is completely fucked or that Coors Light is a water beer. I don't drink Coors Light, so I don't know. MSO says, decline to do that stupid test and tell them you have physical issues. But now failure to test, they'll also take you in for that. They'll say, oh, you don't want to do the test, you must be hiding something. Like the whole system just gives off an unconstitutional vibe, you know? Das Optic Nerve says, I tried to do those tests totally sober. I couldn't do it. Every $20 tonight, I got a grift. We're gonna have a lower show than usual because of all the shows that are the big shows that are running right now. Well, we're at 270 right now. I guess that's not so bad. But every $20, I'll do one facet of the field sobriety test. We're 140 away tonight. I knew it was going to be slow this evening, so we're grifting any way we can. Please and thank you. Gifts and memberships. You know what to do. 09 Canyon says, my neighbor had bad knees, said he couldn't walk straight. He failed that part, obviously, but passed the rest. Puck says, you should invest some money in clothing. SP says, I need less blue and maroon and more black in my wardrobe. And I probably should. But I'm a guy. Like, I'm not a gay guy, Puck. Like, dudes have the same shit in their closet for decades. It's like I've still got clothes that I had in high school that I still fit into. It's a point of pride for me that, 21 years later, I can still fit into like my Troy Bell Boston College jersey or my Ray Allen jersey. My Sonics Ray Allen jersey falls off me. Like, it's huge. I like that. Historically White says Aaron drinks like 3 drinks and he's drunk. If it's hard alcohol, probably 2. Probably 2. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan is here and he says, what the fuck, guys? Where's my membership? Why am I watching these Rumble ads? Somebody hook numero uno Josh Denny fan up. This is unconscionable that he's watching ads. Oh, shit. I don't have a 1775 coffee read either. Otherwise, I'd do it for numero uno. $2 from numero uno says, why aren't you popping champagne? Oh, Uno, you got to start watching the morning show. We even played some Red Bar this morning. Sorry, buddy, because of all the Chrissy stuff. Why would I be popping champagne exactly? The Alex Jones thing? We already popped champagne about that. We move on quickly on this program. I was pointing out today that I've gone viral 3 times this year, and I've probably gotten a combined 200 or 300 subscriptions out of it. That's about it. Hey, I'm grateful for every single one. Grateful for every single one. I'm just saying, it's not like I'm not making it rain with all my Alex Jones, Dave Ramsey, and protest coverage shit. Hulkamash a baby with $1 says, black makes you look slimmer. God knows the gym isn't helping. Dude, I had a good workout today, too. Oh, God, I was just about to say something really gay. Should I just finish it up? Fuck it. That's like the check swing thing. That ain't a check swing. I went. I was going to say my glutes are rocking today. That's not a thing you say to people, especially an audience that's mostly dudes. That's not a phrase you use. My glutes are rocking. They are. That's mostly from the leg lifting I did yesterday. Today I ran 3.25 miles. I did the United States Marine Corps fitness test, and I completed it in 28.5 minutes. Thank you very much. 3 miles. I completed the United States Marine Corps fitness test in 28.5 minutes, which is a 3-mile test. Is 28:30 a good time in the USMC trial? I got to see if I did well today. At 28:30 time for a 3-mile run is not considered a good time in the context of the U.S. Marine Corps standards. While it shows basic fitness, it is slightly above the maximum allowable time for male recruits, which is 28 minutes. If I would have known that the allowable time was 28, I would have jacked up the speed a little bit and I would have finished it in 28 minutes. Son of a twat. Most Marines aim for a time between 20 and 22 minutes. Wait, 22 minutes? That's like just over 7 minutes a mile. The fuck, bro? No thanks. No thanks. Happy Wawa customer gifting a membership, and Trampling at the Zoo got that one, which means numero uno Josh Denny fan is still looking for a membership. Hook him up. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo. Oh, no, not Streamlabs, PayPal. I'm doing the wrong grift. Gifted memberships on Rumble. We've also got 2 gifted memberships in tonight. That means we're 96 away from 600. Let's go. You know, if somebody just dropped 20 memberships on Rumble right now, I'm sure he'd get one. Numero Uno says, I watched the morning show and got Pavlovian liver pains when you did the 1775 ad. I do them for you. Boomer Bob Show says, way to gay it up, Aaron. Yeah, the rocking the glutes thing, that wasn't. My legs are looking good, though. I was sitting in the sauna today. You guys want sauna time? Let's do some sauna time. I think if we make like 30, 40 bucks in the next like 25, 30 minutes, we'll be fine. Let's do a little sauna time. So today I was in the sauna and I was looking at my calves. My calves are starting to look good. Doing a lot of lower body stuff and cardio because I got that. I found out I have a grade 2 tear in my rotator cuff. It's going to heal on its own. 10 weeks so far. It's been torn. Apparently it's supposed to take 3 or 4 more. Yay! So anyway, I went in the sauna today and I was looking at my legs. I was like, those are looking good. You're doing well. And I text SP and I'm like, my legs are looking good. And she just wrote back, okay, ... I was like, no, that's the right response. That's fair. And so I just wrote back, all right, they look better. I was happy with I think it was the glistening of the sweat in the sauna. Anyway, sauna story. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't get any conversating in the sauna today because SP surprised me. One of my headphones is dog shit. And then the other one doesn't hold a charge very long anymore. And it doesn't sit in the cradle right. So she's like, you're going to think I'm nuts. But at Five Below, there's this brand of wireless headphones, Bluetooth headphones, that work so well. They're so good. And you're going to, look past them because they're at Five Below. But I'm going to bring it. She brought me a pair. I used them today. Fucking great. Awesome headphones for the gym. So I had I didn't want to take my headphones off. I was watching Quartering and Chrissy shit. While I was at the gym, I was watching that Smash JT guy go over all the Chrissy Simpcast stuff. And nobody was really talking. A lot of Gen Zers in the sauna today. They don't like to talk to strangers. Gen Zers are terrified of human interaction. All looking down at their phones. Like every once in a while, I'll take like a headphone out and see if there's a conversation and I'll try to jump into the conversation. But it was all the Gen Zers. One of them fucking looked like a shorter Obafemi. Like, I'm not going to fuck with this African brother. And the sauna was a no-go area for conversation today. Also, like 178 in the sauna. Can we please jack this shit up? I got glutes to rock. Kevin Soundboard says, I didn't know you trained at Curves. Yeah, the sauna wasn't very gay today. I apologize. Numero Uno Josh Denny fan says, remember when I tried getting you to do monthly push-up check-ins as a bit for the show and a way to make you exercise more? All good bit ideas are ignored. I'll do a planking test, but here's why I don't want to do the push-ups thing. I feel, look, first of all, the shoulder is not going to do well on the push-ups, but also, here's what I don't want to see in the chat when I'm doing the push-ups. That one didn't count. That one, no, you've only done 7, not 9. No, those 2 didn't count. I'm not dealing with that. That's a trap. It's an absolute trap. Numero uno says, it's like I'm on a fucking pay no mind list. I'm behind in the chat. Numero uno says, and you have a grade 4 tear in your rectum. Thank you. That's because I'm getting... Guys, you see, he's saying I'm getting fucked in the ass. Just wanted you to know. Luxray Luxor says, oh shit. What am I doing here? The wild game started. Oh, that's right. We're trying to even it up at 2-2. Nomo says, I have the leg definition of a Twizzler. Just do leg presses. Do some biking and some rowing. Rowing's a good one. MSO says, Aaron looks like the Wild Bill on Silence of the Lambs looking in the mirror saying, I'd fuck me. Look, I'm not going to lie. I looked at my calves today and I went, ooh, look at you boys. That's the best you've looked probably the entire lifetime I've spent looking at you. Just taking a look at my right calf, and I was like, ooh, that's oddly youthful. You little fucker, you. Now if we could just do something about that upper body. Numero uno says, you don't want to see that because you never want to improve your form. Also, because you know all the push-ups won't count. I can do push-ups. Honestly, I don't think with the shoulder, though, I'd be very good at push-ups right now. Planking, I can do. But the push-ups, that would be painful. Crunchy with $10. Thank you very much. Give her the $10 drop. Is this the first $10 drop we've had tonight?
How are y'all? Oh, bless you, brother, man. Can I love on you? Can I love on you, baby? Can I love on you?
By the way, great Scrubs reference. Chevmatic says, Aaron got them Bob Kelso calves. Damn right. Crunchy. Oh, by the way, for the gifted memberships, I forgot this is our new gifted membership drop.
In Somalia, killing is negotiation.
Attaboy. There we go. Oh, I also added a new drop today.
8 weeks from me, you're going to be ready for a commission in the Waffen SS.
In the Waffen SS. Crunchy with $10 says, if you knew how to punch, you wouldn't have torn your shoulder, and your calves look like Johnny's. Gen Zs know how to have a conversation. They just don't want to talk to you in the sauna, bud. How are we supposed to be gentlemen if you won't talk in the sauna? That's all. How are we supposed... That's how gentlemen... That's how the West was won. Was in steam rooms and saunas. And it's not gay. Thank you, Crunchy, with the $10. I appreciate that. What do you say? 20 or 30 more in the next half hour. We're looking stunning. Numero uno with $2, who also needs a membership. Hook this brother up. He says, from now on, I will be donating whatever dollar amount the morning goals are missed by to Johnny directly on his streams. Just want everyone to know. No, he's not. And by the way, what do you do about days like this morning where we went over by a bunch? Do you then steal from Johnny? How does that? I don't understand how that works. I've got to know how this new system of yours, and I know that you're gonna have to really think quick on your feet because you haven't bullshitted a reason on that yet. But I can't wait to hear it. Das Optic Nerve says Aaron talks with his Western grip in the sauna. 125 away from today. Like I said, 5 gifted memberships in the next 20, 30 minutes. I think we're looking like golden geese over here. Numero says, I'm working on hacking his bank account as we speak. Speaking of bank account, we do have a bank. You know, usually on Monday through Wednesday shows, we have a short. Now we have a bank that we're working with. I appreciate that, guys. You are cursed. All right, let's continue on. Congratulations to Sean Strickland. He beat Khamzat Chimaev, who I can't stand watching. Sean Strickland, a much more exciting fighter to watch. That was a very close fight, but I do think he won. Here's the thing. I think Strickland wins a lot of his close fights he loses because UFC doesn't understand striking, especially punching. They don't understand how much damage his jabs are doing, and they don't understand how effective those jabs are at controlling the pace of the fight. Sean Strickland has arguably the best jab of any fighter outside of boxing. In terms of UFC, pound for pound, any weight class, I think Sean Strickland's jab is one of the most disciplined, consistent. It's a thudding, just piston-like jab that's thrown with great form every time. I really like watching Sean Strickland fight because the motion is so fluid. His striking is solid. I think in a way, I think he's underrated. I'm glad to see him have the championship again because these Dagestanis, and this is going to come off really racist, probably because it is. These Dagestanis are so bad for mixed martial arts. Just because they're so boring. It's all just wrestle and hug, wrestle and hug, wrestle and hug, wrestle and hug. And they're like, yeah, we won at the end of the 5 rounds. Yeah, because you laid down on them for 5 minutes each round. It's fucking boring. Oh, look at the tactical skill that he possesses. I don't give a shit. I would like to see a fight, not a cuddle fest. So I'm glad that Chimaev lost. I'm glad Strickland won. Here's the problem. I think Strickland would lose a rematch. But then again, I didn't think he'd win this one. So good for him. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan with $2 says, I meant popping champagne to celebrate Chrissie's downfall, dummy. The downfall doesn't matter if the goal isn't hit. So I'm keeping my eyes on the prize. How often do you watch the toe fucking suck his own cock about something only to go, oh shit, we had a $100 miss tonight? That ain't the way to go. So that's why I'm telling everybody the next half hour, 5 gifted memberships. We're going to be on pace. How's that? T-Jeff says, Dagestan martial arts are freaking awesome. You miss me with that shit. Well, they wrestle bears. They wrestle bears when they're in the... I don't give a shit. Go back to the fucking woods and go fuck bears then, if that's where you want to be. I really just... with Dagestan. Boy, I am really... This is coming off as a very racist rant, and I do not intend it to be. $2 from Numero Uno says, but it was nice to see the toe get his cousin's moment. Second cousin's moment, in a way. The first one was when we found out you and another dude sucked each other's dicks. Am I right? That never happened. You're giving people lore that doesn't exist. How dare you? Das Optic Nerve with $1 says, who's sweeping harder, the Knicks or Chrissy? Hey. I would argue that Chrissy's sweeping way harder because the Knicks seem to be doing it pretty effortlessly. Pretty effortlessly. Although, I think Papa Shab is right. He says taking a horse trank is the way to celebrate Chrissy's downfall. Or just a sugar cube. I have sugar cubes. Should I have a sugar cube tonight to celebrate Chrissy's downfall? That would be nice. Just hold it flat in my hand and just gum it. Just like that. Not a bad idea. Hit the goal. Let's go to our next. We have an update on the Hanta virus. So we had the French update is kind of a breaking news update. Apparently the ship has officially landed in the United States. So we finally missed our chance to bomb it and kill everyone on board. I guess everybody's being dispersed now into the general population. I mean, those people on that cruise ship are way more of a threat to America than those little girls in that Iranian school, right? And we murdered them with absolutely no hesitation whatsoever. And they weren't even a threat to us. Israel just wanted us to do it. And you would think that, like, bombing your own ships, Israel would think that's based. I mean, given the liberty and everything. But, here we are. Such is life in Trump's America. Let's go into the update of what happened today with the Hanta Virus ship.
Passengers from the cruise ship hit by the Hanta virus have been returning to their home countries. 17 of those passengers, American citizens. And
Citizens? Oh, no. That's why we can't find anyone to watch the kids. All the sitters are gone getting Hanta virus. Citizens.
Patients are being monitored in Atlanta while the others remain in Nebraska. Fox's Jonathan Seri has the latest.
Imagine having Hanta virus and they keep you in Nebraska. Talk about double hell.
On their conditions.
More than a dozen Americans evacuated from the MV Hondius, arriving in Nebraska Monday morning. The Department of Health and Human Services says one tested positive for Hanta virus without symptoms, while another had mild symptoms.
We're being very, very liberal in how we're framing symptoms. It doesn't necessarily mean just because someone has symptoms that they're going to end up having this illness.
HHS.
Why is the CDC wearing those ridiculous uniforms? That was a Biden era thing, wasn't it? Didn't Biden put like the CDC people in military uniforms? Fuck, that's so gay. Because didn't he, that Rachel Levine, didn't that trans lady dress in like military type shit? Oh, thank you. That's a very nice text that I can't read on the air. I get distracted very easily. I'm sorry. I completely forgot because somebody sent me a text that was very complimentary of my show, and now because I'm such a fucking egotist, I can't remember what the fuck I was talking about. Oh yeah, Rachel Levine, the trans woman. They put her in like a military garb sort of a thing. Just be a fucking doctor.
Says those two passengers traveled in biocontainment units on board the repatriation flight from the Canary Islands. They are being monitored separately from the others who will undergo medical tests and receive care if needed.
They're going to fucking harvest their blood, and then they're going to put it in one of those centrifuges, and they're going to spin out the virus, and they're going to fuck around. They're going to put monkeypox and AIDS and cancer and pancreatitis with it, and they're going to create some kind of super bug.
Working diligently
I don't
to
trust this
ensure
guy.
no one leaves this security in an unsecured way at an inappropriate time.
At least one other person, a French traveler, has tested positive for the virus since the group left the ship.
Oh, I inhale a rat shit. Oh, I see a rat piss and I huff it up immediately. Oh, I don't know why. You're supposed to. What? I can't do it. Oh, I inhale the rat shit like a hero, Luca Robitaille.
On Sunday, experts believe the initial infection happened before passengers began their trip at the start of April.
Right. They said that a couple of Argentinians were bird watching in a garbage dump. How about we don't let people who bird watch in garbage dumps on a ship or in public in general?
Argentina, likely from rodent exposure during a bird watching tour.
Not very transmissible doesn't mean not transmissible at all. And what we know is that at least of the initial 8 cases, they all seem to have had close contact with the index patient.
According to the CDC, the symptoms often present just like a flu, with fever, muscle aches, headaches, and fatigue.
Oh, yay. Just like COVID. Fun.
In some cases, the virus can be fatal with a mortality rate of about 35 to 40%.
Damn.
So far, 3 passengers have died, but public health officials say the risk to the general public remains low.
3 right now, if I've got Hanta Virus from that ship, I'm just counting. Like, it's got a 30% mortality rate. All right, 3 people have died. How many cases are there? 10. All right, I think we're all safe. If one more person gets it, I'm going to start shitting my pants, which ironically is another sign that the disease is getting worse and I'm going to die. Oh my God, look what's happening tonight. Ask and ye shall receive. What a generous bunch of fucks these guys are. Holy balls. Thank you very much to Dis Big Bitch with 10 gifted memberships on Rumble. That's a big one. They're coming out. $20 from Main Vein. Thank you very much.
Wanna fuck? Let's fuck!
Oh, remind me too. I've been fucking with Karmic on Twitter. I don't think he likes me very much. I don't think Karmic's a toe boy. Thank you very much, Main Vein. He says, Aaron, no one cares about racism in this chat because we are not a bunch of weak cunts. I, for one, wish you would be more racist. Oh. I did encourage Meme Copium to say the N-word this morning. Looks like I'm going to be hanging out with you internet guys and off the radio for a little while longer. Numero uno with $2 says, kind of rude. Nick never gave Chrissy his tips for following all this stuff and streaming while having kids, just to have the cocaine babysit. Oh no, remember Chrissy was entertaining the idea that I drugged the kids. Remember that? That piece of shit. Fuck her. Silverwolf with $1 says, by boat. Typically I get the US by air in Plague Inc. Well, that actually makes sense. Upgraded waterborne transmission. Only way to get Greenland. And if the port's shut down, game over. Holy shit, you've thought this thing through. All right, numero uno got one of those gifted memberships by this big bitch. Very nice. Very evil. Happy Wawa customer gifting a membership as well. Guys, you're only $50 away from a win for the toe all of a sudden. Shit's getting weird in here. You guys are doing great. You know how I said 30 or 40 in the next half hour would have been fine? You've done like 100 instead. 50 in the next hour. Sounds great to me. Let's do it all with gifted memberships. That's 11 more. Hot shit. Thank you guys very much. So now we're 85 away from 600. Main Vein with $5 says the virus was released strategically weeks ago. This is just a theater, so the population gets scared. The ship is just the bullshit storyline to make everyone make sense of this Hebrew nonsense.
Enough. I will hear no more of this Hebrew nonsense.
Thank you, Annoyed. Was it, Happy Wawa customer for the gifted membership.
In Somalia, killing is negotiation.
God, I fucking love that one. And this one.
8 weeks from me, you're going to be ready for a commission in the Waffen SS.
I think I might watch that movie tonight. I think I might watch The Great White Hype. I feel so bad that I annoy the fuck out of SP with my movies. Because, I'll ask her, oh, have you ever seen this one? She'll be like, yes, you showed it to me. Oh, have we ever watched it? Yes, you showed it to me. But, I like some of her true crime documentary stuff because I'm part lesbian. And I'll watch her Lifetime movies and stuff. I really want to see if I can get her to watch some of my gayer, shittier cult comedies, like Great White Hype. But every time I ask her, I think she's just too smart. And she'll just say I've showed it to her and I haven't. Because, she just doesn't want to watch it, but she also doesn't want to hurt my feelings. So, she liked Scarface. She liked Casino. It's impossible to hate those movies, though. But, if she likes, because nobody I've ever shown The Great White Hype to likes it or gets it, and it's one of the funniest movies ever made. Honestly, the only person who understands me when it comes to The Great White Hype and the whole Rekieta arrest drove a wedge because he picked up the broom is Mersh. Mersh and I would bond via Super Chat over Great White Hype quotes. I guess I just miss my friend. Just kidding. We were never friends. Numero uno with $2 says, was it you that put the Coke in the SpaghettiOs or a cop with Coke on his hand touching the kids' heads? Or was it you disguised as one of the cops? Anything is possible in Whippets land. I'm a devious son of a bitch. Devious bastard. Goat Choker says, Cocaine SpaghettiOs is my new band name. Numero uno says, can't rule anything out. Well, we can rule it out being Nick's fault, being the only thing I know for certain. Well, that's all Chrissie knew as well. Lord, forgive her. And even Fitty away from tonight. Thank you guys very much for the generosity and contributions. Keep it up. Sean says, did you ever watch RoboCop 1 and 2? No, I never did watch RoboCop. I'll admit I'm a fucking piece of shit there too. But no, I did not watch RoboCop 1 or 2. Redbird with $1 says, I would not take Mersh agreeing with you as a good thing. Would not take agreeing with Mersh as Mersh has a good taste in. I will say this till the end of time. As soon as Mersh is ready to be over whatever his fucking thing with me is, I don't dislike Mersh. I'll turn on, if there's some kind of drama shit happening and I'm not in bed, I'll watch Nightwave Radio. I haven't watched Revenge of the Sith since they went to Rumble when they had that contract. It's been a few years since I've watched that. But I'll turn on Nightwave. When I'm on there, though, I don't watch it. I'm like, hey, come on. He's calling me a faggot. Only I and my audience can call me a faggot. I don't like it when he does it. Hurts my feelings a little. God, be nice. That'd be funny. That'd be funny if I watched every clip. I should start watching every clip about me where people are talking shit, but that would be mental illness. And I should watch it and I should just leave comments like, hey, come on, guys, be nice. That's not very, hey, come on, that's not very kind. What are you doing? But no, it is a very good movie. You should check it out. Main Vein with $50. Hot shit in the city. Main Vein says, listen to Crunchy and stay in the chat the rest of the night. Well, that 50, we take 40. That leaves us 10 left. You know what? We knock out tonight's. As soon as tonight's goal gets knocked out, I'll camp out in the chat. How's that, boys? How's that? Oh, yeah, my Karmic story. So Karmic, like, ever since he got banned on YouTube, he'll keep tweeting about me. I think that's like his new thing. Is like he wants to like be angry at me. And I'll never give Karmic the satisfaction of like me getting mad at. I'm never going to get mad at Karmic. I love Karmic. And every time he tweets at me, he'll be like, this piece of shit. This cum slurping asshole piece of shit gives Minnesota a bad name. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm sorry things aren't going your way today. I apologize to you, kid. You seem like a kid that's full of energy and you got a lot of charisma. Hey, why don't you send me your YouTube channel link? I'd love to promote it to all my fans and help you out there, kid. And then like I'm obviously fucking around. I'm being over the top corny. And then he will not have a good time with it. He just gets madder and he's like, fuck you, you piece of shit, you gay guy. He's like, I can't believe people he has fans. I can't believe people like Steel Toe. He gets mad that people write back to him that they like Steel Toe. And he's like, I can't believe he actually has fans. They must be like jellyfish. And even Lemmy wrote in the tweet replies, little Lemmy goes, actually, jellyfish are kind of dope. It's weird. Watching Lemmy like slowly fold back into the Steel Toe family is kind of fun to watch. I got to be honest. Like, Granny's always been there. But watching Lemmy like do a raid, hang out in the chat a little bit, it's nice to see. But I just want to see Karmic calm the fuck down. Just want to see Karmic chill. Stalin. Or Dirty Jersey Rat. I hate to use you guys as my assassins or my go-betweens here, but get a clip out to Karmic and let him know that we'll welcome him home. We made him. We invented him. He's our Frankenstein monster. You know what Karmic is? Karmic is the prodigal son. You know, he's gone off. He's lost his YouTube channel. He dated what is debatably a trans person, and he went off the rails a little bit, and we were maybe a little too harsh in our criticism of him. And he kind of flew off the handle at us. And you're a piece of shit. You're a gay guy who eats cum, you piece of shit. And he got really mad. And like, we refused to lose our cool with him though. Like, we will always welcome him back. Just let Karmic know through a clip or through whatever that if he comes home, we're not going to meet him with disdain or criticism. Quite the opposite. All of his transgressions will be forgiven. And we will just be so happy that he's home that we will celebrate his return. That's all. I just feel bad that I've upset the kid. You're just a piece of shit. That's what you are. You're a piece of shit gay guy, you fucker. You bitch. I don't want him to talk to me like that because he doesn't. I deserve better, you know? And I don't want to play that card, but like, Karmic, I brought you into this world, and I want to see you thrive in it. That's all. Rexstart parody account says, I think you owe him a really fake, shitty apology. You know what? I'm not going to apologize, but I'm also not going to get mad at him. Numero Uno says, Trucker 18-Wheeler, you ever see that clip of Mersh talking to Geno about how they should kill Aaron so they can take his fans, and he mentions you as one? Wait, Mersh was going to kill me and take all my fans? I would hope you guys would be pissed if Mersh killed me and you wouldn't become a fan of his, but it could be like a weird, like, Bronze Age dominance thing, so I would understand that. I would hope that you guys would avenge me and kill Mersh back, but apparently I'm a piece of shit. No, I mean, Mersh could just do a better show and take all my fans, but we've kind of traded fans over time. Like, I've got some people that were, like, Nightwave people. I see people over in his chat that used to be Steel Toe. Like, it happens. It happens. I think what happens is Mersh yells at somebody and then they come over here for a while and then I do something that pisses them off and then they go over to Nightwave for a while, which is totally fair. Dio Ruled with 1999 says, does that cover it? Oh, my boy.
Wanna fuck? Let's fuck!
Does it ever? Thank you very much. And also Ben over on Venmo with $10. Let's give Ben the thank you. Oh, this is where I fucked up with Brennan. I tweeted Brennan thank you. Or no, I texted Brennan thank you. And I didn't hit the thank you thing on the Venmo. That's where I'm a piece of shit. That's where our misunderstanding comes in. I like Kevin. Kevin likes the toe. It drives so thorough Joe Burrow crazy when I'm watching MLC. And Kevin goes, I don't have a problem with Theo Toe. I'll go on a show, just not for free at 9 a.m. And may I say this before I'm the piece of shit guy who lowballed Kevin Brennan. I don't know if Kevin knows this or not. I think he does. I think Kevin just really likes the material for the show, which I can appreciate. If he doesn't like me asking him if he can come on at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Central Time to do Steel Toe, he's allowed to text me back a counteroffer. Like he goes on his show. He's like, the pizza shed. He asked me to come on at 9 a.m. He didn't even offer me any money. I gave him $500 last time he was on here. $900 before that, by the way. Thank you for both. And thank you for the follow-up text. You're actually a nice guy. But he's like, he didn't even offer me any money. I want at least $500. And I'm like, why? Did you think to maybe text that to me, Kev? Did you think to maybe go $500 question mark? I go, let me check with Sanford's son. He wants Kevin on somebody. He's like, how much to put Kevin on? I'm like, you guys aren't going to pay him. I will pay him the $500 if I want to have him on in the morning. And you guys can super chat and do your normal stuff. You're not going to give me extra money to bring Kevin on. But then he's like, he won't let Johnny Crutcheth come on. And I'm like, Johnny, would you tell him that I've never told you can't go on Brennan's show? Johnny's like, no, I don't want to go on Brennan's show. I'm scared of his audience. I'm like, they're fun. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with those. I mean, there's plenty wrong with them, but you get the idea. And then Chad let it slip today. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like, I was so amped up about this Chrissie quartering stuff. And I've seen Chad do like a Chrissie impression and a Carl impression and all this stuff on his show. So I was like, do you think Chad would, like, how much does he hate Chrissie? Do you think he'd put on a red wig and pretend to be Chrissie Mayr? So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll just DM him. And I know that anything I DM Chad could end up on the air, so it's fine. But I was like, hey, what do you think about putting on a red wig and playing Chrissie Mayr, and I'll interview you. We'll play horse noises. It'll be really like I picked Chad specifically because of his little impressions he does, and also because he was like a stunt boy radio guy, and I thought he'd be really good at it. I'm not saying stunt boy radio guy is an insult. I'm saying it as like he's probably done shit like that before, so he'd probably pull it off really well. It would be corny and funny and a good time. But judging by what he said on MLC today, he thought it was faggoty and retarded. I just want people to be nice. I just want everyone to get along. That's all. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says Kevin's counter offer is the same one Mikey Corleone gave the senator. Right. Aaron, you're going to throw in that $500 as a gift. And then you're going to grandfather me onto the show. And then you're going to retroactively thank me for the $500, you piece of shit. And you're going to put Johnny Crutcheth on my show. So I'm Senator Geary. I'm Senator Pat Geary. And he's Michael Corleone in this instance. So, and Chad is Frankie Five Angels, I think. Yeah. Nicole says, I think Brennan can't do mornings. I'm guessing it's taking Cheddar to the cheesery and whatnot. No, you know what? I would absolutely love it if Kevin joined us on an evening show. He would help pump up the numbers, I think. This big bitch with $10 says, do you feel better after that? Dance, monkey. Hey, I told you, you guys knocked out the goal. I'll hang out in the chat if that's what the people giving us money want. Thank you.
How are y'all? Oh, bless you, brother, man. Can I love on you? Can I love on you, baby? Can I love on you?
I don't mean to say that the morning show and the evening show both have a bank together, but you guys are both contributing, and it's weird. And I've been doing drama. Uh-oh, you know what that means. Numero uno says comedian Lev Fur refused to come on MLC also because he's scared of the audience. Oh, what are they going to do? Write super chats at you? The only reason I'd do it every fucking day if I wasn't on probation and I knew what they would be planning to do. I'm done in either June or October. We'll see. So the first show I will do is Kevin Brennan's show, I promise. And then I'll do Hughesy's show, but I'll only do Hughesy's show again if Dean is on. If that Aussie guy, if he's on there, that's the only way I'm doing Hughesy's show. I'll tell you why. Because Dean, I yelled at him, I called him a piece of shit, and I called him every name in the book. You know what he does? He'll DM me respectfully from time to time, like probably every 3 months or so. Like one time he's like, oh man, enjoy your W. That jail phone call on that Piggy show was cringe as fuck. And then I pushed him a little too far and I kind of like took a too big of a victory lap. And he's like, all right, now you're being a fucking dick about it. And I was. But then when I was at the Timberwolves game with my kid, I was waiting in line. My dad and my son were at the seats. I was going up to get everybody drinks during I think it was the end of the third quarter. And Dean had messaged me. He was like, hey, respectfully, would you come on my show? I promise it'll be professional. We can talk about shit. If we argue, whatever. And I was like, you know what? The ball's on this guy. I appreciate balls. Wait, what? And I was like, I'm gonna do something with him someday. And I told him that. I respect that kind of shit. Bill Grand says, it's simple. Kevin Brennan doesn't like you anymore. Kevin Brennan loves me. He just doesn't have the heart to admit it to himself. Nomo says he's another weird one, forces himself to hate the toe. Kevin says it time and time again. He goes, I don't have anything against steel toe. I'm just not getting up at 8, 9 in the morning for free. I don't want to inconvenience the guy. Phil Herslit says, I heard Aaron won't allow Johnny on MLC. Of course he can go on MLC. He doesn't want to. Numero uno. Oh, I'm sorry. He's talking to Trucker. This big bitch says, these guys are super gay. That's not what the paying customers want. I know you guys wanted me to read the chat. Kevin Soundboard says, get paid for the other shows. I think Husey would probably break viewership records with a Toe Dean episode. Kevin's show always goes well when we work together, so that'll do well. And, I don't have to ask Kevin for money. Kevin always paid. Always pays. And generously. Probably too much. But he's a nice fuck like that. Numero uno says Husey sucks and Dean is worse. Dean had Carl come on his show, billing it as asking the hard questions and holding his feet to the fire about Carl defending Cumia and everything else. Well, did he confront him? But Dean folded immediately whenever Carl pushed back on his challenges and smugly denied everything like always. You know who takes Carl to task and fucking, who he's kind of scared of is Lemmy. Lemmy will let him have it and he'll be like, oh, okay. He's not good with confrontation in general, which is why I think his show has kind of devolved into his ball washers that depend on him and can't tell him that he's fucking the Opie of his own show. But boy, when Lemmy goes after him on Hughesy's show, that cranks him a bit. Phil Herslit says Kino Casino, 8,000 viewers. Yeah, do you guys want to check out any Kino Casino? Because I'm dying to watch that episode tonight, and we've got a half hour left here. Phil Herslit says, I think Dean is Aaron's sauna buddy. Let's not get that rumor started. Please. Double A, yes, putting oranges in the YouTube chat and also saying I was bullied to be in this live stream. Oh, people are saying in the chat, no, it hasn't started. They're saying, I thought they started at 7:30. I don't watch anything on Kick other than Kino
until
Casino.
he gets in the car. Just
I see, okay.
Cheats. Oh, how about you spell Kino right, you fucking retard? Oh, they haven't. Look at that. Dude, they're at 10,300 viewers and they haven't even started yet. This is wild. is actually really good. Oh, Jeremy and the Sky Bowl. Good for them. 10,300 viewers. We're close to that. What are we, 270? Yeah. We hit 750 this morning, you pieces of shit. We're like the same as them. This big bitch with $2 says, just do the drama. Sigh. Somehow I'm in. You said that if we knocked this out, I should do the chat. I should hang out with the chat the rest of the show. That's what I'm doing. Revenge of Penis Wrinkle with a 199 says, should you do a show if have to beg for money every day? Yes, of course. I mean, if you're just asking me the question, I mean, been doing it without radio for 6 years now. Something's working. Something's working. I get it, though. Steel Toe beat you and your whole Discord and your whole movement. And this must have been like watching the Volkssturm fight off the Soviet Red Army in Berlin. It's unfortunate. And I'm the Soviets doing all the raping. Numero uno says, Pearl firing a shot at Venti. Uh-oh. My enemies have taken themselves out. Brittany Venti nudes on the internet and lives with cat pee on her floor. Brittany Venti has nudes on the internet? I've never heard of that. ABBA bullies women into abortions. I mean, abortions are terrible, but like that's fucking, that's not like he's a weak guy. That's a terrifying thing. Like that's not, abortions are bad. I wish nobody would have abortions, but like saying like this guy's taking himself out. He bullied a woman into abortions. It's like, that's a scary thing for someone to do. Sarah Stock engaged, making her husband wait, banging her boss. Well, she ain't wrong there. Destiny divorced and leaks girls' nudes. Not wrong there. Lauren Southern banged Destiny. Whoa, what? By the way, Lauren Southern was a fake conservative before Chrissie made it cool. Somebody said today, Chrissie squealed so that Haley could screech. I thought that was a good one. Brittany Venti lives... Oh, sorry.
Oh, bless you, brother, man. Can I love on you? Can I love on you, baby? Can I love on you?
That's Jelly Roll meeting Pearl Davis. Revenge of Penis Wrinkle with $1.99 says, it's not working if you have to beg every day. I mean, it seems to be working just fine, and it has you all up in arms, so... That's the more exciting. I would rather miss tonight by $50 and have you up in arms like this than be over the way we are. That probably says a lot about me. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, Laura Southern banged Destiny. She was a dude? Oh, yeah. I don't know if you heard this one, Crunchy. Maybe you'll like this. Jeremy from the Quartering has been banned from every Ren fair in the country. He's bold. He's asking about our weekends. So the Renaissance Festival here in Minnesota in Shakopee, which by the way is the same one that Penn and Teller first met at, our own piece of history, but also I guess he's banned from that one too. I didn't know that all the Renaissance festivals were, because here in Minnesota we call it the Renaissance Festival. It's like a 2-month event. It's like 3 months actually, but like I didn't know that they were an interconnected group. Like there was a loose confederation of Renaissance festivals. I thought we just did our own here. 09 Canyon says she's fearless. I'd still be in hiding if I bombed as badly as Pearl did with Anna. Well, that's the benefit of being shameless. You keep coming back. Kevin Soundboard says every show is technically begging. Some shows just end if nobody sends super chats. That's right. This show doesn't end because we don't get super chats. We go down with the ship, my friend. And yeah, he is right. Every show is begging. What do you do? A goal is an old Twitch method. Well, I am an old Twitch method myself. Tongue Punch My Fart Box says abortions are bad, but cucking yourself and good and eating another dude's cum is good. Well, thank God I never ate anybody's cum. But if you believe the gay guy who told you that because he was dirty texting with someone and that's how they got themselves aroused, was making up scenarios like that, I got bad news. That makes the other guy the gay one. But no, I would say that wife swapping is bad. I would say in general that is a very unhealthy thing to do, and you shouldn't. At least somebody can admit their faults. Thank you for letting me fuck with you a little bit, though, tongue punch. Numero uno says KSB every show except Red Bar. Red Bar literally gives away money to viewers. That's true. Nicole says a lot of the Ren fairs are together, but I don't think the one in Shakopee is connected. They may have a common banned weirdos list, though. Oh, no, don't tell me that the Renaissance Festival in Shakopee is not connected to these other Ren fairs. So now, like, Jeremy is free to come to the Minnesota one. Ooh, we don't want that. We don't want that. Kevin Soundboard says, let's watch this 20-second clip. Well, we promised the viewers we'd live in the chat the rest of the show because they were so generous. Taste Fairy says, you got the Spurgs all riled up tonight. Really only Revenge of Penis Wrinkle and Tongue Punch My Fart Box. I thought I could do better tonight, but I've only riled up 2 of them. I think they've given up. I think, Carl tapped out. Moody tapped out. All these guys tapped out and gave Steel Toe the win. They acknowledged that I won. And now all their fans have kind of gotten demoralized too, I think. Crunchy says, is the quartering tiny? I will crush him like a bug. No, he's fucking gigantic. He's huge. I mean, he's a bitch, but he's like 6'5", 400 pounds. He's a big old fat fuck who pees in his floor drain. Main Vein with $1 says, Kino is about to start. All right, bye, guys. No, I'm kidding, of course. Who was it? Kevin Soundboard wanted us to check out 20 seconds of this clip. Let's see. Oh, it's Clav? This is AI. Come on. There's no way this is real. By the way, speaking of is real, I feel like the Jews are finally done fucking around with clavicular, and they're like, all right, you served your retard jester distraction thing. We're going to destroy you now. Because they got the lawsuits, and now Florida Game and Wildlife, they're pressing charges now because of the alligator thing. He OD'd. He shot a gator. He's gay.
Oh, buddy.
But it's all coming after him now, and he got banned from YouTube and all that. I feel like whatever social experiment they were running with clavicular is over, and they're ready to take him out. Bro. God, all these... You know what, though? Fuck her, too, because all these brain-dead hoes are just there to get clout off of his channel. So people will go follow her. They can't stand him, but, if you can't stand him, then leave the nice bus that he's in. All right? And don't party with him and all the money they're making and everything else. But they're so soulless. They're just I've got a martini glass tattoo on my arm that's going to age well. And then... they'll just that girl who accused him of rape, and now she's like, oh, but I kept going on his stream and kept hanging out with him and kept sleeping with him because I thought it would do well for my social media follower count. It's you're so full of shit. He has to quit doing drugs, though. This is just him being a junkie. Yeah. Dude, bro, stop doing meth. And by the way, that's universal advice for all of you. Just stop doing meth, all right? Don't. It's bad news bears. Trucker 18 Wheeler with $1 says, biggest takeaway is Destiny banged a woman. An evil woman, but still a woman. Lauren Southern in her prime was pretty cute. Trucker 18 Wheeler says, who are these people in the van? Well, one was clavicular, one was a little tiny blonde retarded girl, and the rest were black guys. So I would guess she ended up with them. Just playing the law of averages on that one. Goat Choker says, how about the guy getting sucked into the engine at the Denver airport? Yes, I actually think I have that one. We can do that. We got, 20 minutes left? Plenty of time. Phil Herslit says, Kino Casino is up to 14,000 viewers. Wow. PPP is there.
Creepy with her in public. There are recordings of Jeremy Hambley that Sydney Watson made that God fucking knows. And the tape was due to be released tonight, folks. We were promised that the audio recording of Jeremy Hambley being creepy. He was drunk. Who the fuck knows? Was going to be dropped tonight, completely exposing him.
But shocking
and then
that
Sydney
he was doing
Watson.
that.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, we all knew. It was.
That's one of the few times I've actually seen PPP acknowledge that Worski was talking. that's kind of nice. They really are in rare form tonight. Worski added something and PPP acknowledged it and didn't just like drown it out over it.
And Chrissie Mayr. And Judgment Day is here for these fucks. They're finished. They're cooked.
That Chrissie
It's
Mayr
over.
show. What the fuck?
Chrissie.
How?
I like Worski, but PPP's righteous indignation is one of my favorite things when he stops yelling. Chrissie, this is bad, buddy. This is unholy. And he just starts building up to another pro wrestling promo.
Resign. She's not showing up for work. He said until the midterms.
Oh, that's Hannah.
So she's gone till November?
Or
it's the same lie.
she'll
It's
be
the
back,
same lie we were told about Luke, where Luke went up to the farm upstate to run around in the hay patch and play with all the fun animals, and he would be back by the midterms too. And we've received no update on that. Jeremy Hambley was alone today. Yeah, that's where Luke is. He's
All right, so check out Kino Casino on Kick. That's where I'm going after the show's over, but I feel like now we're just watching their show, which is cheap on my part. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1 says, thanks for playing it. We love to see some Clav updates. We got to get into his Israeli handlers this week. Is PPP on a bouncing ball? That is kind of the theory that some people have. It would be kind of funny. Like, it would show he's kind of working on himself, right? It's good for your core. Maybe I should do it. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1 says, oh, okay, that should be the right question then. Who are these people? I get if you're from the St. Cloud area, you know Aaron, but otherwise nobody should know any of these people. If you don't know any of these people, I think you're better than I am. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1. Like, you listen to this show, I'll tell you who these people are and we'll make fun of them. But, like, you don't need to know them but like, we'll explain it to you. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1 says, did the fat guy lose weight? I don't know. Ashton, he looks a little thinner. But also, when you're a fat guy, like, take it from a guy who's been about 10, 15, over where he should be his whole life. I've been like just a little overweight. You'll have days like when you're a big guy, maybe you ate more bread or you drank more water and you'll look puffier. And then there'll be some days where you're not as waterlogged and you'll be less puffy. It's true. It happens. So maybe he is losing weight. He could just be having a less puffy day, as it were. Hate to say it, I'd watch Aaron just do live commentary of Kino Casino, says Matt C. I don't mind commenting over clips. Commenting over someone's live show feels cheap. Let them have their live show, and then people will clip it, and then you can go over. Like, we'll go over some of the Kino Casino stuff tomorrow morning. It'll be fun. Bapa Shab says, my buddy said, who's the guy with Down syndrome, and pointed out PPP, and then I had to explain to him that Worski is actually the retarded one. Well, you could argue that, like, at PPP, your buddy might think he's the retarded one because he's so bouncy. Like, he's so energetic and he's all over the place. So he might go, oh, that's the retard. And, you could forgive him for that one. We're going to do this body cam tomorrow morning, I think. We can do the Kentucky woman who gave her kid a tattoo. Oh, we got DC teen takeovers. A lot of, like, so in Washington, D.C., there's so many of these, like, black kids going into malls and getting in fights and beating up people in the food court that they've now put curfews and restrictions on how many teens can be in certain businesses. So now at the council meetings in Washington, D.C., all these black teenagers are showing up to yell at the council about how they're not being fair. And it's like, we have hours of video of you guys just beating the shit out of Chinese guys. Like, you've got to behave yourself. You're running wild. You literally call it wilding. You have to chill or we're not going to let you go places. So we got that one. Again, all this stuff can be moved to tomorrow if we have to. Denver, let's do the runway story. Somebody asked if we could do that today. Let's jump into that one. You know me, I want a video version of the story. Here we go. Let's go. Let's cook. While Kino Casino gets all the viewers.
Fox 31 obtained brand new video today from the deadly crash at Denver International Airport after a Frontier plane hit a pedestrian walking across the runway.
See, now, first of all, there are no pedestrians on the runway. We don't go there's not an outlet mall out in the grass at the airport where you got to walk across the tarmac for it. It's some cunt who shouldn't have been there. And then Frontier, this is the last thing Frontier needed because Spirit's gone. You're like the new cheap black flights. And you can really look good business-wise. You can inherit a lot of business and a lot of market share. But now you're running people over on the runway. That's a terrible time for this to happen.
Fox 31's Anna Kuhn is at DIA.
Anna what? Oh, my God. This is a little on the nose for a Frontier story. If this was Delta, I wouldn't blink, but...
with this shocking video and inside analysis from aviation security experts.
Surveillance video shared by the airport shows thermal video of the person walking out onto the runway.
Oh, no, we're going to see like an orange and red blob just get sprayed into a million pieces.
As this Frontier plane attempts to take off, and we do want to offer you a content warning. The video that we're about to play shows the moment of impact.
Yeah.
This crash
That's
happened.
why we're here.
It
Come
may be
on.
Disturbing to see.
Security video shows a person walking towards runway 17L at DIA. You can see the blurry figure moving, caught by thermal video at the airport.
They just wanted to die, though, right? Like, this wasn't someone who like, oh, man, I shouldn't have taken that turn at the Cinnabon, and they ended out on the runway. This is someone who's deliberately walking out there and stopping and like, you know what would be a good way to die? Landing gear right up my asshole. I mean, you probably wouldn't feel much.
As the Frontier jet comes speeding down the runway.
Oh my God!
The video right before the moment of impact, but audio from first responders gives insight into the disturbing.
Oh fuck, that'll do it. Is that the jet engine? The jet hit him? Oh, nice. You won't feel a thing. Take you right out. You ever watch one of those videos of what happens if you got sucked into a jet engine? Spaghetti and meatball, my friend.
Aftermath of that collision.
Sorry about the delay. Runway 1735 right is closed. I do have limbs on the runway, I believe.
I have limbs. Now that I have a dead body, I just got pieces all over the place. And a general red mist color in the air.
The aircraft struck an individual.
Frontier Flight 4345 was about to take off to LA late Friday night before that collision. The impact and subsequent engine fire and evacuation left 12 passengers with minor...
Well, I can see that the Spirit clientele hasn't hit Frontier yet. What are they doing? Where are they flying? Where are the Spirit clientele? Where are all the fights happening at the airport?
Injuries and killed the person who officials say scaled DIA's fence and walked onto the runway. Someone speaking on the airport communication system appears to identify that person at 11:18 p.m.
Oh, yeah, they wanted to go home. They wanted to play one for the Angels, as it were. You know, yeah, that was intentional. And just the way they stared it down in that jet, just right. She's spaghetti. She's dead.
Oh, buddy! The crash happened at 11:19.
Red 1, we have a party walking on runway 17 left. We're sending fireworks and noise for that.
Aviation expert and retired pilot Randy Klatt says even if airport security immediately noticed the trespasser, it's unlikely crews could get across Denver Airport's 53 square miles of property in time to prevent that collision or alert air traffic control fast enough to stop an already moving plane.
Is there a jet?
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, short of Superman showing up and lifting the thing into the air, what are you going to do? Help? You're fucked, my friend.
Was already rolling. So
at least nobody, like the person you hit's not going to be upset about it. Like they got what they wanted out of the deal.
So, the timing just tells me that it was something that would be very difficult to stop within that short period of time.
Klatt, who works with the Foundation for Aviation Safety, says the FAA already enforces certain requirements for airport fence heights and perimeter security patrol.
Yeah. Didn't help.
But a security breach like this can create a push for upgrades.
Do we need to
Fart nigger.
have more robust regulations that require, more?
No, we don't need more robust regulations. A retard walked out onto the tarmac. We're fine. It's, you know how it was yesterday? Totally cool. You know how it's going to be tomorrow? Totally fine. One psychopath walked out onto the runway and got their head blown off by a jet engine. I mean, you got to allow for one of these every 5 or 6 years. We don't need more regulation. We're going to be fine.
Tense security, because obviously security of the airport is very important.
Denver police are still investigating this crash as well as the security breach. They're working alongside the FAA and the TSA. The National Transportation Safety Board tells us they're still determining if this crash meets the criteria for an NTSB investigation.
Well, I'd say between you guys looking up each other's ass and them looking for themselves, my bet is nobody finds anything. Other than somebody wanted to die and they walked out onto the tarmac. Unfortunate, but probably the way it is. Somebody was that I scrolled up in the chat so I could catch up to where I was, and I think it was Kevin's soundboard who went, "There's something on the wing, something." Dick. He's as bouncy as Javon Evans. Oh, man, not the young OG. Papa Shop says, how do you not see a plane like this? Not see up. I get it. We're doing this to Johnny tomorrow, says Papa Shop. What, hitting him with an airplane? That seems like a bit much. Chevrolet JB says he got sucked in. Oh, he definitely got sucked in. The engine caught on fire. It might. I mean, when you got bones and shit grinding up in there, for sure. There's something on the wing. Something. You guys we got 5 or 6 minutes left. You guys want to see what happens when you get sucked into a jet engine? Pot Awful's live too. We stayed pretty respectable. 250 now. We were at about 280 at our peak tonight. Not 300, but I mean, it's our average. Even with Kino Casino and all this other stuff happened. Thank you guys. You're so loyal. I appreciate that. You guys have been, this is the best Monday we've had in a long time. Morning and evening together. Thank you so much. That, you know what that means? Everybody wants Toe to do more drama. Am I right? Am I right? Oh my God, the first thing, look at this. Look at my 4 histories. What happened to WCW? What are the oranges for? What are the oranges for quartering? And what's going on by Nelly? When you type in what? What happens when you get sucked into a jet engine? That's what we want to know, my friends. Not the Denver guy. You want to know? I mean, we got a 30-second one. All right.
Have you ever wondered what would happen to your body if you get sucked into a jet engine?
Yeah, all the time. Please tell us.
Well, according to contrary popular beliefs, when you get sucked into a jet engine, the razor-sharp edges of the fan blades will turn a person into thousands of shredded pieces. During this process, some of the body parts will pass through the engine combustion chamber, while others will be pushed through the bypass duct, further leading to engine failure. This is why you see tiny spirals in front of some modern jet engines to indicate to the ground crew working around the aircraft that the engine is running so nobody comes up too close. Have you ever wondered what would happen to your body if you get sucked into a jet engine? Well, according to contrary popular beliefs, when you get sucked into a jet engine, the razor-sharp edges of the fan blades will turn a person into thousands of shredded.
Isn't there like a military story where like somebody got sucked in and they lived? Navy sailor getting sucked into A6. I think this is the one. Somebody said they lived when this happened. So here, I think it's this guy that gets sucked in. Because Because I think he gets sucked in through the back. And so he lived. I think he lived. In the Navy. Usually you're getting sucked on in the Navy, not sucked in. Hey-oh, gay, they're all homos. One of my best friends is in the Navy. Come on, get sucked in already. Nobody gives a shit about how you're doing. Oh, there he goes. Oh, my. Oh, God. Oh. If that's the guy who lived, that was not a pleasant existence afterwards. Holy shit. Did you see him get shot out the other side? The way he gets shot out the other side of the jet is fucked up. There he is, right there. Ready? Boom, it was over just like that. All right, I want to see if that guy lived. Navy A6 jet suck lived. On February 20th, 1991, during Operation Desert Storm, U.S. Navy Petty Officer J.D.D. Bridges survived being sucked into the intake of an A6 intruder jet aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt. Bully! He survived because his equipment was ingested first, prompting the pilot to cut the throttle, and he became wedged in the intake. Holy shit. Now, so he was fine. So, like, no long-term injuries. He was just A-okay. Oh, my God. If you don't believe in God before that, you might after. His equipment saved him. Whew. Respect those planes. Respect those bridges, my friend. Or those engines, not bridges. What the fuck am I talking about? T-Jeff says, pulled into the intake fan. That's a quick way to go. Not for that guy. He lived. He lived, man. Let's go and find a channel to raid, even though everyone's going to be going to watch Kino Casino on Kick. You guys want to raid Timcast? Nah, that's too easy. It's too easy to raid Timcast. Just to kind of fuck on Tim. He's not going to read it anyway. Let's go to page 2. Let's go to the really lower streams. Patriot Soapbox News. That's where you guys are going. You're going to go learn how to be
within a couple of feet,
patriot.
Within seconds.
I'm trying to find guys who will interact with you guys. MSO says, did you make the goal? Bro, there was no goal tonight. We hit it so quick. We went way over. I think we got like a $60 bank. I'll have to count it up. It was an amazing Monday. It's one of our best Mondays in recent memory. Thank you so much. I'm going to send you guys over to PSB News, and I bet you this guy will talk to you. This guy will go back and forth with you a little bit. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Be here. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll go over some of this Kino Casino shit. It'll be a good time.